and I do not believe this. I believe Ray 100% because what does he have to lose here? You know what I mean? He's torpedo. There's potentially torpedo in his career. Potentially. Well, so he doesn't have anything to gain. So like I said, I believe him 100%. But right now, the best thing for Whedon to do is do exactly what he's doing and shut up and just see where the chips fall.
Well, the other thing is that you have very few people outside of Alan Tudyk who said that I've never seen anything, which I thought, come on, Alan, just don't.
That was so stupid.
Don't if we haven't learned anything.
You worked with him 17 years ago, buddy. Like, come on.
Well, I mean, I get, and it's okay to say he's your friend and you've known him for that long at that point, but it wasn't going to help a situation just because you almost got to read the room, man. It's just like, this is not the time to say something like that because it comes off like everyone else is saying, oh, just because you didn't see it happen, it means like it never happened. It's like, I'm sorry.
There's a lot of people that didn't see Weinstein be all slimy, but
yeah, exactly. It's just he has had a history of just being a downright slimeball in this industry for many different ways. I mean, in Charisma Carpenter always comes to mind at that point.
Yes,
but again, we're just gonna have to wait to see how this process plays out and just kind of. Again, I have no reason to doubt Ray. He's got nothing but credibility in the sense of that, and he's going after someone that has had a history, and so it's not necessarily shock value.
Like I said, and I'm just asking because these are genuine questions. Like I said, maybe I should have asked offline, but these are literally just because I'm dealing with the same amount of information you guys have, but I just want to bounce off you to see if there's something I'm not seeing or I'm missing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, real quick, I want to go ahead and explain that we are talking about the Ray Fisher Joss Whedon deal because I have something I got to tell y'all. I'm pretty sure that I hit the go live button whenever we started, but I didn't.
Gregory.
And I just got a message from Travis. So the whole talk we just had about Sandman is lost. Like
Craig.
Y'all can virtually punch me in the face.
It.
I promise you, I thought I hit it. I'm very sorry, but now we're live.
So just cut it all out and start over again.
Yeah. Did we have any of the?
I did ask offline. All right, so I did ask offline.
Yeah. No, but we're live now. Well,
I've already spent all my ammunition, so basically when this goes audio forward, just cut all that out and walk into the new version of the episode.
Okay, do y'all just want to stop and start it over, and I'll take this one off?
Whatever.
Yeah.
We're really starting over?
I mean, we don't have to start the whole show over. We can skip Sandman.
Hey, you tell me, man.
I don't care.
Okay, well, fuck it. Let's just keep going then.
All right.
We'll talk about some Sandman next week. How about that? All we really talked about so far is we talked about Sandman because we wanted to talk about that because it's a great audiobook we listened to, and then we talked a little bit about Justice Con. But if you want to talk about or listen to some good Justice Con talk, go check out the DC Alliance podcast on the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network, where we talked about that on Tuesday, and I think we went on for almost an hour, me and Chris and Travis. So check that one out if you want to hear about the Justice Con. But we'll go into stuff we haven't talked about yet because I screwed this whole thing up. And we'll just go straight into the news.
We're just going to call it, instead of Damn It Bear, Damn It Greg.
Yeah, that's the way it is, man. Because I just looked at my phone, I put it on silent right after we started, and Travis sent me a message like 20 minutes ago saying, hey, you're not live on YouTube. And I went and checked, and I swear I hit the button. I swear I did, but next time,
we're just going to put a big Post-it note on your equipment there.
Double tap. All right, so let's go ahead and start talking about the rest of the news. And I guess the only thing out there is AMC and Universal deal, which is a pretty historic deal. I'm sure y'all probably heard about all this stuff. And basically, AMC made a deal with Universal where normally it would take 75 to 90 days for a movie to become available for home release after it's released in a theater. Where you can actually see this within 3 weeks, or I guess 19 days was kind of the specific amount, the only number I saw put out that would be guaranteed, or 17 days, excuse me.
But it has to include 3 weekends.
3 weekends?
For 17 days. It has to be 3 weekends, and then the shortest amount of time could be 7. So like if your movie comes out on Thursday, you get Friday, you know what I mean, or Friday or wherever it is.
That makes sense.
So
I didn't know that.
It's got to be 3 weekends, and then a minimum of 17 days if you have 3 weekends.
Okay.
Which again makes sense just because in the heyday of when we actually did go out to movies, usually your first 3 weeks, you see the downward trend of, lost week to week, and that's, by 3 weeks, unless you're like an Endgame of that caliber at that point, or you're probably going to see at least by the end of the 3 weeks. If you can pack half the theater in week 4, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So realistically, the bulk of the money these theaters will be AMC be losing on money on the movie is not as large as you would think, because they're still going to get those first 3 weekends,
and
in theaters.
I think they're actually taking a percentage of it too.
There's a revenue share.
VOD. Yeah, revenue share.
Mm-hmm.
Well, do y'all think this is a desperate move? Because AMC is on the flirting with bankruptcy, aren't they?
They were flirting with bankruptcy before the pandemic. Okay. I think they're in full-on bankruptcy mode right now.
Okay, so do you think this is kind of a desperate move? I mean,
this was a whole strategy in the sense of AMC trying to play chicken with Universal, and I don't know who blinked first with saying that they weren't going to show Universal stuff when they kind of hinted at doing VOD. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, and you see more and more that the studios are going to try. They're doing more and more not to go VOD because of they stand to gain with the theaters at this point. This is a move to benefit both at that point. Studios get what they want, theaters get a little bit what they want, and in the end, studios are the big winners regardless.
I personally think that AMC was stubborn and downright ignorant whenever they said, and basically just hot-headed when they said that they were going to do that. But I think, honestly, cooler heads prevailed, and I honestly think they're the first ones to take the first step forward to the future, because I don't ever see a world going back to where it's only first-run theater. I think this is the first step in an evolution of something like this being normalized, because you got to think. There's a lot of people that there's still those people that go, I'll wait and I'll rent it, or I'll buy it, or whatever, because they don't want to deal with the theater. They don't want to be packed in there. And if this pandemic's shown anything, people really enjoy being able to have some kind of something new and be at home and share it with their family. And I honestly think that these guys are embracing the future, because I think this is going to be normalized to where maybe not your Avengers or your Justice Leagues or your Star Wars, but these companies, and they're doing stuff like this because, man, it's a way to maximize your money, because you get it to the theaters for 3 weeks, and then after that, you're trickling basically any kind of money. And then you got those people that would be waiting for it that goes, shit, $20, I can sit on my couch and watch it. I can avoid spoiler for 3 weeks. Boom, you go right there. I really think these guys they took a step in the right direction after being so hot-headed and being ignorant in the first place.
Yeah. I think that the future of it all depends on, one, this COVID-19 pandemic and what's going on. But I think no matter what happens, you're right, Nathan, it's going to change the gaming, or change the whole game of going to the movies, because there will be some people who just won't. For people like me, it's more nostalgic, and I want to go to the movies and see certain things. But I'm not going to lie, there are going to be movies that, if this is available, that I'll probably end up just waiting and see, doing this. Most movies I talk about on these shows, I probably won't. But I mean, it really depends. Is Warner Brothers, Paramount, Sony, Lionsgate, are they all going to follow suit? Are they all going to crumble and do this too?
I do. Yes, I think this is the first domino. Okay. I think this is the first domino.
So desperate move might be a savior, like a changing of the.
This is a step in the future. Times. I think this is the future forward, moving forward.
Sony's more worried about getting bought out at this point than anything else. Yeah. Sony's the next one to fall.
Okay. I mean,
well, and sorry, I was just gonna say, you gotta think, let's just go back and let's just say that the first John Wick is coming out now at this time with something like this going on. John Wick didn't become a classic until it came out on video or on HBO, and people got to see it that way. If this is in the theater for 3 weeks and it gets a little bit of buzz and it gets home, you go, I'm gonna see what these people are talking about, and you can run it at home. I think something like that becomes, instead of a cult classic, it becomes something bigger, faster. This gives those opportunities for those smaller movies that, man, they're really hoping maybe they make their $30 million budget back, but they only cleared, 20 or 30 at the box office. Well, this is a way that you can get another 40 at home or whatever, and it makes these more financially successful. Oh. And you get more of these smaller budgeted or just different ideas, and it doesn't have to, and you know me, I'm the first guy that loves it, but it doesn't have to all be You don't have to do what Todd Phillips did and want to do a character study of somebody devolving into madness and know that nobody's going to see that shit unless you wrap it in a superhero wrapper. Because I'm sorry, that's exactly what Joker is, and he even said so himself.
Yeah, he did.
That he wanted the movie out there to be, and he knew nobody go and see the goddamn thing unless you put a superhero around it. And he took the Joker and wrapped it up in that.
Hey, guess what? We
That's
bought
exactly
a
what I'm talking about.
hook, line, and sinker.
That's right. Yeah, right into it. Well, you know, my thing is, the price point that I was looking at was $20. I don't know. They haven't named an official price point, but it was $20 starting off, and then like after the movie had been out for X amount of times, it would go down as low as I think $4 or $5, depending on how long it was out. But for $20, I can watch 3 movies with the price it cost me to go take my family to go see one. And
you can't.
Oh, I can. $20, $60. It easily cost me $60
How much is
to
it
go
for
see
all
a movie.
4 of you to go to the movies?
To go to the movies, it's, let's see.
For just your tickets. For just your tickets for 4 of you.
It's 11 for 2 of the kids, so that's 22, and then it's 14 for me and my wife, so that's 28 and 22.
Exactly. So you're already saving
there.
money because you can all watch it in one shebang at home.
That's what I'm saying.
You're saving money.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I thought you were saying.
Yeah.
I thought you said. Okay,
No.
my bad.
We're speaking the same language here. And that's my thing
Yes.
I still will always
with
want to
you.
go to the theaters because there are certain movies that I want to see. I love going to a theater. I love having the crowd around me. I love the big
The
screen. I love
experience.
not being at home. The experience. Yeah, it's all there for me. But I'm not going to lie. There are going to be a lot of movies that I'm like, well, I can watch this and this and this tonight at home and drink some beer and have dinner at home and sit on my couch and pet my dogs while I watch this movie.
Yes.
And it is very appealing. It makes me wonder what's going to happen to smaller movie theaters because I live in a city that's close enough to a few bigger cities that within 30 minutes I probably have 10 different 18 screen theaters that I can go to. So I'm very, very close to a lot of theaters, but there are a lot of smaller theaters too. Like there's one that I grew up with that has been a $1 theater, a $2 theater, a $5 theater, back to a $3 theater, a $2 theater, and I think right now it's $4. Adult or child, and it's cash only. 4 screens, lots of memories in this theater. There's a theater I grew up in, watching all kinds of movies. It's a really hole-in-the-wall theater, but I wonder what it's going to do to theaters like this, because I think they'll be dead, which I hate to say.
Is it a second-run theater? Or is it like...
No, they get movies.
Like older
they
stuff,
get movies like the weekend they come out.
Really?
But yeah.
That's the place I'd be trying to go.
Old theater, old screens. There's not stadium seating. It's like sitting in an auditorium at a school. Curtains on the sides.
You got the bleachers.
But man,
the bleachers are sitting there on.
So I just wonder what's going to happen to theaters like that because I don't feel like theaters like that will survive if it moves forward like this in the future. But that's the nature of the beast, I think.
I think, and we've already started to see it, the renaissance of the drive-in theater. If you're going to look for a silver lining of this pandemic, drive-in theaters are coming back in a big way.
I've been trying to buy the drive-in theater down the street that's been closed for 20 years for a few years now. I'm seriously thinking about doing it. Like in Missouri,
the old St. Louis Mills Mall, which back in like 2002 when that was malls were the thing. Like they built this massive, huge mall complex. They had the Blues hockey play, like they could practice hockey in this facility. They had go-karts. Anyway, massive is what I'm getting at. So big parking lot. And now that it's 2020, it's been like vacant and a ghost town for like 3 years. But since all this has happened, they've done drive-in. They've done drive-in graduations and stuff, which I know Chris knows about. But because they had so much, so much space there, and it worked out so good.
So much fun. So much fun.
They've had drive-in concerts there, and they're starting to show drive-in movies. And I have another one that's like an hour and 15 minutes away from me that already still was surviving and doing good. And since this, like it has been packed like every weekend. You can't, and they're showing just old shit. You know what I mean? I think they showed Jaws like 3 weeks ago. They had Indiana Jones. Like, this is just old stuff, but people just wanting to get out of the house and have that experience of just, because especially you can social distance, you got your family there, and like Greg said at the drive-in, if you're at a drive-in, maybe it's not the most responsible thing to do, but you sneak a little sixer in, or get a little, pot vodka, a little in your little styrofoam
bring
cup.
Bring a picnic,
bring a roll of joint, or whatever you want to do, some food, whatever you want to do, but you're in your car by yourself, and or just you and your wife, you and your girlfriend, you can still go on a date there. Like, it's I think they're going to come back in a big way, which will help save the theater business. Because if you get a lot, like I said, the renaissance of and then like I said, I truly believe this is AMC might have sounded stupid about 3 months ago when they came out and did that silly shit, but they're the first ones I think to take a firm footstep forward towards the future.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, there's a drive-in movie theater from where I live now that's literally 3-4 miles away from me that I grew up going to, but it hasn't been open in like 20 years, maybe even longer. And it's just sitting there abandoned. And I'd love to. I mean, me and my wife talked about it all the time because it's still got the kitchen there where you can, because every drive-in I've ever gone to has a kitchen where you can have, hamburgers, hot dogs, all kinds of stuff, popcorn, all that stuff. And it has it there. I mean, all it needs is somebody to buy it and renovate it, man, and it would be a pretty awesome deal. I mean, my wife talked about it for a long time, but
if you had the money and to make an investment, and like I said, if you're looking for a silver lining, and I know right now it's been tough for a lot of people, and money is not necessarily in abundance.
Yeah.
But if you were in a position to buy something like that and put it in there and be able to get like I said, just access to older movies, just because you got to think it's giving people a sense of normalcy. Like I said, a drive, you can go with your family and be like, maybe you've been at home or your restaurants have been closed or your parks have been closed or whatever, but goddamn, if they got that movie theater open, you can go to a big screen and you know what, you're with your family and it's in there and you're still having an experience. You might have to look at it through a windshield, listen through your speakers, but it's a sense of normalcy, and you can social distance easily because you keep your windows up or down. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just you feel normal and you're still doing something with your family to get you out of the goddamn house. If nothing else is open, at least you could do that. So if you were in a position to do that, boy, right now would be the time to, like I said, bam, get that open and start going again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the ones that I've been to around here, they all have. You basically say during the summer you go out and it doesn't get dark till almost 9 o'clock out here. Mm-hmm. You'll go out there at like 6 o'clock, and they have fields and people are playing baseball and football and soccer and basketball and. They have all kinds of different activities. There's an area in the woods to go play paintball and all kinds of stuff. So it's basically like a day event. Like everybody shows up and goes to this, and then you can eat at the thing, or you can bring your own picnic, do however you want to do it. You don't have to show up then if you don't want to. Then you park your car. It starts to get dark, and they play the movies, and for the next like 3 hours, you're just sitting there in the car watching a movie. It's an awesome experience.
The one up by me, or the one that's like an hour and a half for me in Litchfield, Illinois. They do double features on the weekend, and that's how they kind of feel like you get there at 7 or whatever. That's the first one, or 6 or whatever, and they'll play a movie, and then they'll give you like a 20 or 30-minute intermission. Boom, straight into the second one. Just so you, like you said, you're not just going straight to, and it's a little more for the experience. You know what I mean? You get a little longer time there, something to do.
Oh yeah, real fun. But yeah, there was one other thing I wanted to bring up about this coming out, and I know we had talked about it a few months ago or a while back. I can't remember. I know we brought this up in the show about about how streaming services and like the idea of streaming movies is coming so big into movies now, especially with this big screen movies. Mm-hmm. I still think that eventually somebody like Netflix or Amazon is going to buy theaters and have their own IP in theaters that you can stream and have the same, like I just
they gotta change federal law on that one, bud.
Why is that?
That Supreme Court case preventing if Amazon is being looked at and they are a studio at that point. That was the old studio system that broke the studio system. Supreme Court said you can't own not only do you own, you're basically dictating what the theaters play at that point,
right?
And preventing other things like
studio.
That's a federal case. They can't do that. They can't necessarily, do. If they were, they'd have to go through antitrust laws at that point because it would be basically a monopoly.
Okay, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, so couldn't really do that. Who knows?
Oh, they can try. They can try. Like I said, it's just they can try and then see if the law is still going to hold up. So, that's what a lot of companies end up doing. They know they're violating it at that point, but they'd say, "Well, that law was done way back when. Let's see if you're still going to keep it now."
Well, AMC was also talking before this about developing their own app and having some of their movies and even from the TV station, or like they were thinking about doing literally their own app. And I don't know the legality of all that, but that would have been something similar to that, to where they could have basically had their movies and then put it on that service, or develop stuff for the service, put it in their theaters, vice versa. You know what I mean?
Possibly, yeah. I mean, they're going to have to develop their own app, though. If they're going to sell you the movie digitally, they've got to have some kind of way to feed it to people, right?
Yes, because somebody owns Voodoo. Who is it? The one that owns Voodoo?
Walmart, I think.
Yeah.
No. Well, it's Walmart, but there's also like a movie streaming like Walmart doesn't. There's somebody else that's in association with it. I want to say like a studio or something.
Okay.
But there's I got a feeling that you're going to have some of these bigger studios jumping on to like some of these ones that you get their stuff. I'm not exactly sure how it is, but I think you're going to have to funnel through with like a Voodoo. You're going to have to funnel your channels and do it the right way. You know what I mean? Like technically, if they wanted to do it like Disney Plus has, Disney has Disney Plus. They could do that with Marvel, Star Wars, all that. They don't have to go through Voodoo at all. They can do it on their service. And they can even put it up on a paywall. All it takes is just a little tweak into the app. Warner Brothers can do the same thing with HBO Max. You can put, let's just say, let's just say Robert Pattinson's Batman comes out, and then they want to do the same thing. They wouldn't. That's a big IP, but that's just my shit. Or Tenet. Let's just say for Tenet, if they really wanted to do it like that, they could do it and release it on HBO Max and just put a little paywall on there and say, if you want to watch, you can have your streaming service, but if you want to watch this, it's $20, and you get it for one night or whatever it is.
Well, that'd be almost like cutting the theater out completely, right? Like it's in the
theater
theater
for
if
3
they do
weeks,
the same,
and then if they do the same thing that like that AMC's doing.
Okay.
They could technically do something like that.
Okay, I could see that happening, and I'd probably pay the $20.
I don't know if they would, or it's probably way harder than I'm making it sound.
Yeah.
But you got to think that they could do that. You know, why would you have to be forced to go through a Vudu or an iTunes if you already have your own streaming service set up? I wouldn't think it. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
As long as I can own it on my Movies Anywhere account, I'm good.
Yeah.
So that's all I care about. All right, well, y'all got anything else you want to say about AMC Universal?
Look forward to seeing how it plays out.
Yeah.
Do we have any more friends that want to join us, or what? Like they don't like us, or what?
You know, they all have the invite, man. I don't know who's coming on. He said if we talk. Travis texted me now. We talk. See, my phone's on silent, so I missed Travis' text. We talked Sandman yet? Yep. I'll tell him get on here. Let's get going.
You know.
What about Sarah? Have you heard from Sarah?
I haven't heard from Sarah. No.
Sarah, we miss you.
I know. All right, cool. Well, let's just go ahead and move on. We'll start talking about the Emmys. How about 26 nominations for The Watchmen?
Yeah.
Awesome news to hear. Netflix led the Emmys with 160 nominations. HBO Max is 107 shortly after that. And the next highest one is NBC at 47, which surprised me that Disney wasn't on there. You would think Disney would be in there, but the more I think about it, they don't have a lot of original content.
Mandalorian got nominations.
It did. It got a lot of nominations, but they don't have a lot of original content on there yet, on Disney Plus yet.
Oh, I think it's telling that the top three are pay TV, streaming, and one network. You know?
Yeah.
Well, CBS, Viacom, they technically have a streaming service with it, but yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, look at your dramas. Better Call Saul, that's AMC.
Mm-hmm.
The Crown, Netflix. Handmaid's Tale, Hulu. Killing Eve, I think. Trying to remember what show. I mean, obviously, Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I'll have to look it up real quick. Mandalorian, Disney Plus, Ozark, Netflix, Stranger Things, Netflix, Succession, HBO. I'm very curious.
That's a lot of good
shows. I've heard a lot of positive things about Killing Eve, but I just can't remember if it's streaming or BBC America.
Okay.
So, and that's
hello.
Hey, check it out.
the T.
Mr. Hines himself. Gracing us with his presence. What's up, buddy?
Not much, boys. I heard Nathan's tears all the way from Canada, and just had to come out.
That's what I said, but I tell you guys
I was just
Travis will sit and wait until he hears something that he wants to talk about, then he'll jump in and go, hey, and he'll jump in.
No, that's not true, because I was listening to you guys talk, and I would love to talk about that. Cineplex has an app for Canada. They're a Canadian chain, and they have an app where you can watch movies at home, like this whole thing. Sonic was pretty early on up there. Like, they put them out there pretty quickly.
See, guys, it's coming.
Yeah, and yeah, they look at I mean it like you're saying, streaming had a big win with the Emmys. This, just all the nominations.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were the best shows because they don't have to adhere to the guide for TV, for ratings, for what they can say, what they can do.
I mean,
it's just
no restrictions equals better content in my book. But
well, I mean,
I'm unchained as it is. So
remember that used to be HBO. It still is. I mean, to some extent, it still is HBO. It's just that they still have a brand to look. They have their own brand that they're looking for. Now, obviously, it's expanding now with HBO Max. But Netflix is like, we're not going to put just crud on TV, but we can do a lot without having to pay a bank.
Netflix just very recently reeled that back because it was like they were throwing money at any goddamn idea there the first couple of years. It was like, oh, you want a Battletoads? You want a Battletoads show? Here, fucking a couple $1 million of Battletoads. You're like, what?
They just broke.
You want a live action Frogger? Do that shit.
Battletoads is a great game, though.
Well, they just broke the bank on the Russo's deal, so I think they're going to be holding back for a little bit.
Well, like HBO back in the day, you got to think that was like if you wanted like mature kind of like if you wanted cussing and killing and crime drama and boobies, like boom, HBO was your shit because like that was
still
like,
is.
They took shit serious. Well,
still is.
To a certain you're right, but like that was they like you said they were leading the way because like that was shit. Sopranos, like you remember when that came out, people were like, "This is the shit!" Like that was the biggest thing, and then The Wire, just because they were like Travis was saying, there was no restrictions. You got if you had an idea or if it felt like it would flow in a real conversation, like you could do it.
Nathan, I mean, two of the biggest shows of this past year that they're nominated for, drama wise, is Succession and Watchmen.
Yeah,
Which is so awesome. Watchmen has 26 nominations.
Well, you know what?
They are gonna clean house.
You think so?
This thing. Oh. With what they did in the time period we're in, you better believe
that's
it.
True, yeah.
About that, exactly. See, Chris, that's exactly what I was going to say. But you know why Watchmen got it, guys. Because you had that big old fucking Manhattan hammer just hanging out there. And it was like, you know what? We're fucking nominating this shit. Look at that. They were so impressed. They were just very impressed. They just look at this thing.
Gotta nominate this show.
We gotta nominate this thing. If not, he'll come club us to death with that thing. Jesus.
Oh man, yeah, but like, what do y'all think? Like, streaming services are taking over. Like, I feel like they're kind of taking the charge on mainstream television because I've noticed that in the last maybe month, me and my wife have watched TV every day, but I don't think I've turned my cable box on once. Like, I'm about to just totally cut that. But.
Welcome to the future, like 8 years ago, Greg.
Hold on.
I haven't had my cable box in 8 years.
Hold on. Sports have not been active in the last few months, so I did have to turn my cable box on to watch some live sports the other day. I know I can fix that streaming wise. I know I can. I just haven't done it yet. I'm about to go ahead.
He was Netflix and chilling.
Greg, I have only have internet here. I just watched Celtics and Bucks, and I have on Mavericks and Rockets in background, which I'm not paying for.
Did you watch Lakers Clippers though? Is the question. Watch the
King. That's not the question.
The King being the King last night.
I'm just
King
talking
being the King.
For streaming services, this cable's dying out. Cable's just like newspapers.
He's always going to be in the shadow of Jordan, Greg. I mean, I just want to say it, brother. He's always going to live in the shadow of Jordan, the greatest of all time. So I've been staying out of it, but if we're going to get into it, we're going to get into it. He's always going to be in the shadow, so much so that, like, come on, you got to do Space Jam too? Get out of here. Get out of his shadow. Go make your own place.
He didn't have to do Space Jam 2. He was asked to do Space Jam.
But he wanted to.
They said, oh, man, I love it.
I feel like this is the Green Lantern argument.
Shit, sorry.
It's always everybody against me. It's okay. I die on my hill alone.
I get it.
You're probably not alone.
Yeah. But with the Emmys and stuff, I do. It like you were saying, Greg, it does. It just shows that they're killing it, but it also just shows the evolution and the change. And I mean, like the streaming wars we said are here, but it's going deeper than that. Like when you're getting Emmy nominations and eventually this will bleed over to the Golden Globes, and it'll go into all of them. You know what I mean? It's more prominent.
It's no different than like I was saying with internet for newspapers and internet.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
newspapers fight it for so long,
Yes.
but eventually you were more recognized for having the articles online rather than in paper.
Yes.
Like, you qualify for the same awards and all that sort
That's
of
a great
sort of-
comparison, Travis.
Well, I've got an interesting thing. You know, I flash back. I literally had a conversation about this, about the difference between, you know, music streaming versus TV and that, because this was before this really took off. Like I was at the time, and I wasn't wrong, was that the thing they had to crack was the idea of TV. You click that guide and you just kind of flip through the channels.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't necessarily do that, or they had to find a way to make people say, okay, what can I do to get someone to flip through? If I can't get them to flip through channels, how can I get that same experience in a streaming? Music, it's just like you're lucky if you get like every single song in an album. Most people say, "Oh, I like that, I like that, I like that." That's why streaming and music work so well at that point. But at the
remember
time,
Metallica suing Napster shit because they was pissed.
Yeah,
music was coming on the internet.
But at that point, they hadn't been able to crack that with TV. Now they found a way to do it by loading up content and getting not only the big name actors, things like that. That's how they got it at that point. But again, it took time to find out, how do I get that experience of putting on my guy to flip through the channels.
Chris,
You know,
for your point, like for that, watching, like, flicking through the guide on the cable box is nowhere near as good of an experience as flicking through what's available on Netflix.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like,
They
it's
figured it
all
out.
in your face. It may, like, sometimes I'll get lost for 20 minutes trying to decide on something
That's
to
the
actually
worst.
watch.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, and that was
6,000
never,
titles and nothing on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you
that
know
was
what?
never the case.
Yeah. Well, me and my wife have been just binging Netflix for the last few weeks. You know, just the only thing that's been on TV.
Mhm.
And it's funny because
Crazy
we'll get
kids.
to one show. Yeah, we'll get to one show and we'll we'll finish the whole show, and then afterwards it's like, if you like this, you should check out this, and we'll flip through a few of those and start that, and then go on. So like, we don't even have to pick anymore. Like, it's like, here, watch this or this or this, and there I go, and it's like following down a rabbit hole in the internet. You know, like you can't stop. Like, they're going to tell you what you want to watch. They're kind of dictating what you want to watch.
That's the government keeping tabs on you, and they know what you like.
Yeah. But,
And all those other agreements that you signed saying, "Oh yeah, terms and conditions, yeah, bye."
oh, yeah.
Right.
Sarah,
Hi, Sarah.
what's up?
Sorry, guys. I got hung up on a call that somebody hadn't talked to in a while, so sorry, guys.
It's all right. I had the
That's
biggest
all right,
screw up of the night. I didn't
Nathan.
record the first 30 minutes of the show. So, yeah.
Okay, I don't feel bad now.
Yeah,
It's okay. How you guys doing?
Another lost episode.
All right.
Good. How about you?
I'm doing well. I might have a new job opportunity, so I'm kind of excited about that
Already
from my past life. So I'm
Two
kind
new
of excited
job?
about that.
Wow, look at that. You rock.
Well, it has to do with like what I did previously, so it's I'm kind of excited about
Escort.
that. Whoop. Wait.
No.
Really?
Nathan.
Oh, yeah, gotta have it on there.
No, I mean it's something that just kind of popped up. So I don't know if it'll come to fruition or not, but I'm kind of excited about it. But
Well, good. I hope it works out for you.
You
I
gotta
know.
stop watching Pretty Woman, man.
He did tell me it's one of his favorites. He's been asking us to cover it. So. Well, what's up, Sarah? Well, check it out. Right now we're just talking about the AMC and Universal deal, and just kind of how streaming is changing, the game up. And we're all about to wrap it up. Do you have any thoughts or ideas you want to put on that? Did you read that article or?
The only thing, well, no, I didn't get a chance to because unfortunately, I've been kind of slack lately as far as like all the extra stuff. But
I've been
But I'm really
offline all week.
but what I'm really excited about as far as like the streaming is because like one of my favorite movies or from my favorite franchises, which Bill and Ted, the fact that it's coming out video on demand with Bill and Ted 3, personally, I would rather see it in my favorite theater.
Me
But if I can get it quicker, I'm all for it. So, I mean, it's kind of like you have to kind of go along with, the way the trend right now. I mean, hopefully a lot of theaters will survive so you can, because, I mean, even though I do enjoy watching movies in my house, it's still fun to actually go out and, experience on the big screen, because there are
that goes back to my normalcy argument of it, which before you got on, we were talking about driving theaters and Renaissance. It's normalcy.
But I mean, there's some movies that you just have to experience on the big screen. So hopefully at some point in time it will come back, and hopefully there will be some point of normalcy. But for right now, I'm just glad that they do give you the option that if you want to stream, and there's a lot of good content that's streaming now.
Mm-hmm.
So
they should always give you the option. That's the one thing that listen to Nathan talk earlier when I was on. He really put it well that like some people just don't want to go out and
that's true.
Some people would rather sit at the comfort of their own home with their family and watch a movie.
Yeah, because it is expensive. I mean, it is expensive. You take a family of 4, it is expensive to go.
Very.
So
that's where the theater chains makes the bulk of their money though. Is on concessions.
Oh my
God!
They need people there, so it's a whole vicious cycle that if it gets broken, then theater chains are going to take a big hit. And so I can understand why AMC deal is even there in the first place, but ultimately I think that they're going to get phased out if this sort of COVID thing like extends in anywhere near a long period of time. And I mean, it doesn't look like it's going away anytime soon.
Oh no.
Mm-mm. I'm about to go move to fucking New Zealand. They got that shit on lock. Like, but they're being smart about it. Like,
Canada's got locked down too.
Unless you got a discernible skill that they need, or you're like a doctor or a job or line up, they're like, nah, we don't need you. You can't even go try to apply to go to New Zealand unless if you're over 55, we don't want you. Get out. Like, damn, these guys are savage.
Nathan, we got 4 island provinces, and they've all banded together, and no one's allowed to come in from the other provinces. It's only those 4 are allowed to visit each other because they all have no cases.
Oh, I'll make it on that.
Well, that's good. That's good. It's crazy, but it's good.
I'll green arrow that on that
Steve that shit over there.
I want to be on that island. I'll make it that damn island. There's to it.
Yeah. Okay. Be on some James Bond shit, with like my little torpedo, a little underwater thing. I'll just pop up and just out of your bathtub.
You gotta do it like The Rock, going into Alcatraz underwater. Great
have a little
movie.
boat
We should cover that one time.
A little speedboat coming over there.
I'll Steamboat Willie that shit.
Whistling all the way.
That's right.
Well, did y'all have anything else y'all want to bring up about this? I know that they're casting the votes on August 21st and August 31st. Or they've risen submissions of votes 15%, and they are expanding nominees because of what's coming on with streaming and this wave of television shows from there. So
it's another award show I won't watch because, I mean, there's nothing that Hollywood loves more than S in its own D. And, like, I just get over that. Like, I just, whatever. I don't need to watch all that. Because, boy, they really like fellatioing themselves. Because then, like, it just shows, like, look at how great we are.
Nathan kind of censored himself there.
I did.
I like that. I did. That's crazy. Didn't see that one coming.
Like Chris said, they're going to clean up, though. But like Nathan said, I could really care less about the Emmys or any of these superficial awards.
I don't really think the awards really mean that much anymore. I mean, because
I think you're right.
To the people.
To Hollywood.
I mean, it's almost like it's just a gratification for the actors, and in the halftime, the people that really should be up for awards, they don't really have categories for. Like stunt people. Mm-hmm. I mean, if it weren't for them,
they got categories. They just don't televise it. They're not going to show that shit because you're not the.
Well, even if they have categories, I mean, it's I don't know. I just like watching what I like to watch. It is what it is.
Well, let me ask y'all: do you think that has to do with the fact that we have so much more content now, and like some streaming shows and cable and everything else that's on there, the networks? There's so many more actors out there doing stuff than there was like when I was younger. Like, I mean, I'm not saying there's less. I guess, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying there's more talent out there now than there was before. So maybe that's why the awards are.
There's more opportunity out there. Yeah, the talent was already out there. There was just it was a narrower.
There you go.
Field.
That's the better way to put it. Nathan. You're absolutely right. More opportunity for the talent out there. That's better.
Well, it's kind of like the breakup of the big studios, because they would like have 1 or 2 actors, actresses, or whomever. That would be their big money makers or whatnot. And now, since you don't really have that down, so you have the opportunity of other people coming in and showcasing their talent. So.
Well, you remember, like, you used to sell movies on who was in it.
Right.
You were going to go see the new Will Smith movie, or the new Stallone movie, or the new
Tom Hanks movie, or
Tom
exactly.
Hanks, or Meg Ryan. Like, it was sold on your name.
Yeah.
And now it's what franchise are you a part of, or what nerd property do you have access to?
Right. Yeah.
Because people are like, you got Joe Blow that you've never heard of from Australia, and you're like, who? And they get on there, and you're like, this is the best character ever.
Well, social media has helped too.
The boys, like Anthony Starr being, Homelander. I was like, who the f*** is this guy? And then I watched it, and I was like, this is the greatest character I've ever seen in my life. And you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, social media has helped as well, because you don't have just like the network showing trailers now. You have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You have all these other different social.
You don't need a marketing team. It takes one celebrity to tweet one time, and within 45 seconds, it's got fucking 400 million views on it, and it's then went around, and Variety's worked on an article, and Hollywood Reporter, and like all these, and that's the only marketing you need.
Absolutely.
Gal Gadot, like DC Fandom's coming up, and they already said there's going to be the trailer for Wonder Woman. You didn't even need to say shit like that. Gal Gadot wakes up tomorrow and goes, you know what? I'm about to blow the fucking internet up. And she just hit send on the tweet on that. And people are like, oh my God. And like,
exactly.
Like there's your marketing. And there's people talking about you for the next at least 2 weeks. And you're right there. You don't have to do any of that anymore. It takes one push of a button and you got it.
Absolutely.
Gotta love technology. All right.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. Well, let's move out of this subject here and move on to the next one. We've only got a few more things to talk about. We're going to move on to the shows here in a minute, but it's not really a show question. We do have some show questions, just so you know, that I know Travis knows about, and actually...
I haven't seen any of them, so you better tell me, because I've been completely offline.
Where you been at, Nathan?
Well, hold on. You know about this one that I'm about to ask, is the Green Lantern and Power Rangers one. We're about to go into that with Fanboy Clay, which just wasn't a show question. It was a Twitter question that I thought was awesome, and he said, yeah, you can talk about it on the show if you want to.
Greg stole it, basically.
It was Power Rangers.
He thieved it.
Yeah, it was Power Rangers. I was like, yeah, I want that. So Fanboy Clay, man, asked this one. It's a great question. We had some.
I hope he's a listener.
we had some last minute questions come in from Brent. On the feed here. We'll talk about that.
Like that guy. Wait, what?
But I'm just kidding. This question from Fanboy Clay, man, he basically put up a picture of Power Rangers and a picture of all the spectrums of the lanterns, the colors, and asked to pair up the Power Rangers with the lantern. It's not as easy as just color to color, just based on the character. And from what I saw online, people were matching characters with multiple rings, so that's what I did, because it's hard to pick one ring for each one. So, Chris, you were looking at this one. Did anybody else kind of tackle this question?
I kind of got a little bit in my I kind of got some generic. If I got to go fly off the seat of my ass,
hold on, we'll go through colors. We'll go through colors apiece.
Whatever, Greg. Act like it's your show and shit. Okay, whatever.
Everybody else, can y'all handle it? We'll just go through it. How about this? Chris, start with green. What Rangers would you give the Green Lantern ring, the power of will?
Oh, I just kept it to one Ranger per ring.
Okay,
except for one, which will hopefully maybe my choice will blow your mind on that.
Okay.
Who do I have as my Green Lantern Corps?
Yes.
Sure.
Red Ranger Jason.
Okay. Okay. Travis?
Here.
Raising your hand. You got
Same.
that? Okay.
I got the same.
So y'all are doing one apiece, because I can eliminate and make mine one apiece real quick. Hold on.
No, dude. No, do what you want.
You do what you want, Gregory.
I'm not judging.
I'm gonna go white. I'm gonna go white on that one.
Well, there you go. Well, if I'm doing Green Lantern, I'm giving it to the white, the black, or the Red Ranger. Like those are.
I'd say the white or the red, but I think I'm leaning more towards the white.
Zach had some pretty good willpower too. I think he was
some great dance moves too. What's up?
You got
hip hop keto.
That's right. What about the red?
I can't believe they made him do that.
How do you know he didn't volunteer to do it? He may have. You never know. No,
he
sure
said that he did.
I'm sure he did. Yeah.
Because they saw his dance moves and they're like, "Whoa, come on, we gotta maximize
show that off. That's right.
Let's do this."
All right. What about the red ring? Rage.
I'm going. Sorry, I got an interesting choice because I thought If you ever seen the Green Lantern animated series, Razor, who is a Red Lantern on there, reminds me a lot of how Tommy was after initially becoming Green Ranger and getting his mind wiped, where he was still kind of angry, but like he was all about being good, like, you know what I'm saying? And if you watch that series, Razor is like, he's a Red Lantern, but he's not just a pure bad guy. He doesn't just fall along with Atrocitus. Like, he actually works with Hal and Kilowog. And I don't know, it's a really good series. I'd recommend people watch it. But like, Tommy kind of reminds me of that character, so I could see him with the red ring until eventually he becomes White Ranger. And then when he becomes White Ranger, I would almost give him a blue ring.
Okay.
That's not a very out there thing, Nathan. I went with Tommy as well for Rage.
Yes.
Yeah, but Tommy Green Ranger Rage, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I only did the original 6.
Yeah.
Oh, so you didn't include White Ranger in there? Oh, come on.
No.
I mean, he's one of the original 6, I guess.
No, he's not.
Kind of, sort of. It's the same guy.
Greg,
I just don't want you to include White Ranger. I guess he's my favorite.
You take that weird ass sword and you keep it through
No.
season 2 or season 3.
No, come on. What would you rather have, a flute?
Come on, I was going to say.
Seriously, Green Lantern was a flute.
Dagger, it's a flute. It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
you know
Saba. Yeah,
like,
Saba's the name. Yeah, I would much rather have Saba than a flute.
No, I'd have taped his mouth shut. You shut up, little sword.
I put Green Ranger as well for the Red Ring, and I also put Red on there because he has some moments. You know, he plays the typical athlete, you know, guy in high school, whatever type deal. He has his moments of kind of rage, so I'd give him the Red Ring sometimes too.
I went a different direction.
Oh yeah.
I went Black Ranger as Red because man, his fight he could seriously fight at that point, and seriously, I could see him kind of, just rage out at that
Hip-hop
point.
ketoing the shit out of somebody.
It had nothing to do with that necessarily.
I'm just joking.
But it was just like I enjoyed his, fighting at that point. I think he was probably one of the best. I think he was one of the best fighters on there. But I think that I could see him just lose, like get caught up in the moment and just go after a person. So.
Yeah, I mean, he honestly had the coolest weapon of all the Power Rangers. I'm not gonna lie. That axe is badass.
Axe turned into a gun. Hell yeah.
Axe is badass. But all right, how about the yellow ring? Did anybody get a yellow ring?
I did, and this person also has another ring.
Oh, okay.
That would be Tommy with yellow to inspire great fear. As Green Ranger, he definitely inspired great fear. But also, if we go back to the Japanese version of this show, Tommy died. So therefore, he is also a Black Lantern.
Ooh, nice.
That's very interesting because I have a point to come up later.
Man, y'all getting deep.
Yeah, we are.
I get deep.
Good question, man.
Yeah.
Love both these franchises. Yeah. Okay. How about? I didn't have anybody for yellow. Did Travis?
No.
Anything yellow neither? Okay.
No.
Disappointed.
Yeah. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
The blue Hope. I had Blue Ranger, White Ranger, a Yellow Ranger,
Billy and White.
Black
Me too.
Ranger.
Yeah,
I had 4 of them. I think there's a lot of hope in all the Power Rangers. Some shown especially throughout the more characters than others, but those 4 for me, always had hope. So,
Billy got mine. I just picked one.
I hear you.
Mm-hmm. Billy's the only one I got. Well, like I said, I got Tommy. When Tommy transitions to the White Ranger, I feel like he could have a blue ring.
Okay.
I chose Trini as Blue Ranger.
Oh, nice.
as
Blue
Chris,
I was thinking about that too.
Yellow Ranger.
She's the hardest one in my head to pick, honestly, right now. Like, that's the one I'm having the most trouble with. Like, I got Kimberly down.
What's funny is she was one of the hardest ones for me to pick too, but now that I'm looking at my list, she's on 3 different rings more than anybody else, except for White Ranger. So, yeah, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I like her having the hope of the team and get stronger around the other rings at that point.
Yeah, I'd say she's got great willpower too, though. 'Cause she always went right in head first. I think if we're jumping to her, I'm going with her as Green Lantern.
Compassion is what, isn't it?
Indigo.
Is that the Indigo?
Yeah,
that's the Indigo tribe.
That's a great.
That's
That's the next one I have on my list.
Travis just swayed me. I'm going Indigo. He just swayed me.
That's what I'm picking for Srini.
Okay. I have her as well.
Just just think about how many times she helped Billy, for example.
You're right. She was always there for a good hand and like you can do it and stuff. You're right. You are right.
Yeah, I actually have her, and I have the Blue Ranger. It's funny you mentioned Billy because I have Blue on there as well, and I actually have Alpha 5 down for Compassion as well. So
Not a ranger.
Whatever, he's a ranger. He's the guy in the chair. He's
Get
part
out
of the
of here.
team.
Yeah.
He's the most worthless piece of trash that ever existed.
He's an alarm
does
that just walks
nothing.
around.
That ain't a good one.
He plugs stuff
Look how
in and
he's a
causes
Green Ranger.
problems. He yells
Look how
Zordon
he's a
and
Green
Rangers.
Ranger.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Green Ranger put a CD in his bag.
Yeah,
He was
dude.
done for.
Don't remind me, dude. That gives me nightmares. Come on.
I chose Kimberly as Indigo Tribe as
Okay.
Compassion.
Oh,
So-
nice.
I can see that.
I've got her as a Star Sapphire. If we're going into it, I got her as a Star Sapphire.
Well, the
Love
only
thinking?
reason I like the Compassion is that like the cool thing about the Indigo Tribe is that they can feed and take on the spectrum of the others around them. That's what I've always loved about the Indigo Tribe and the history behind it, that how Abin Sur created it. So
All right, cool. Well, let's go
Nice.
Violet. We'll go Love. I got
That's Kimberly for me.
Kimberly.
yeah, I
Kimberly.
got pink, Kimberly. But I also put white, yellow, and blue because I feel like they all portray, that's just
I've
love.
seen him.
So I
Don't
feel like
do
I should go with a couple of them. I could not pick one per. Just couldn't do it. What'd you
How
think?
long before they come out with how long before somebody brainstorms and invents a character that just has all these characteristics to where they can have a ring from every different color spectrum and go in there and basically just be like Ring God and just use willpower or fear or rage or love or hope, like just all of them, just boom. Because that's a character I want to see and a storyline I want to see.
Isn't that a mom?
Yes, you know what? Touche.
Very good point.
We're on the next cover of the Green Lantern. It's just going to be a picture of Sarah standing there like this.
Because I'm telling you, I get all those. Some days I'm like on every one.
Mhm.
I can see that. Chris, you have something you want to say? Look like?
no, I'm just
Oh,
waiting
okay.
for you.
Sorry, Lily, you were going to say something. All right, yeah. So that's Violet. Let's see. There are two left.
Zordon gets an orange ring. That selfish bastard bringing these teenagers in to fight his war. You selfish prick.
I can
I
agree
need
with that.
teenagers with attitude. What? Go get some adults that are battle trained or something.
Well, let me ask you guys this. I'm curious because Greg says we're all kind of like the original Power Rangers. What did you guys think of the newer version? You know what I'm
Which
talking
one?
about? 'Cause I took my son to see that one, and it just kind of hit me because I grew up with the original ones that we normally talk about.
Mhm.
But I'm just
Oh, the 2017 movie?
yeah, because
They did some good things, but they did some not so great things
I agree.
too.
That's
Is it
a
just
great
me?
way to put it.
moody teenagers. I
Well,
mean, that was.
I
I mean,
enjoyed
not to
the
go off on a
movie.
tangent, but I was just curious.
Well, I enjoyed the movie. It's not. I still enjoy the original Power Ranger movie better because it
Right.
just feels better for me.
Right.
I would have liked to have seen the direction they were going. There were some flaws in the movie, and there were some things I didn't like. Like I didn't like the uniforms. I didn't mind them, but I didn't like them that much. I love the original ones from the movie.
Right.
Goldar being made out of gold was the dumbest goddamn
Yeah,
thing I'd
that
ever
was pretty
seen in
dumb.
my entire
That was
life.
pretty
What are
dumb.
you doing?
But I will say that no matter what flaws that movie has, when the ending came up and the final battle happened, and I got to hear that Go-Go Power Rangers on the big screen, I almost wet my pants. Like, it was amazing. It felt like I seriously had
Let's go get your bladder checked.
every hair on my body stood up. It was crazy. It felt so weird. It was a rush. I could not believe it. I absolutely loved hearing it, and I was waiting for that the whole movie. But man,
Right.
when I got that at the very end, it felt so good to hear it. Made me want to see that movie again. I want to see what happens next. I want to see the sequel.
Well,
It can
Right.
get better, you know.
No, go ahead.
That movie could have instead been a one season, and it would have been so much better. I think.
They spent too
actually
much
did-
time not being able to out of the suits and shit.
Yeah.
They couldn't morph. Like they spent too long on
They
that.
wanted, but what they wanted to do was
And the Megazords were
characters what they wanted to do was a lot of character development, and they could have done that more in a season. And because in those movies, you kind of want to see. Like, I thought that in a movie format, it could have used at least one more action scene instead of it. Like it was only had the main fight of the putties, and then going and fighting in the Zords.
Well, the thing that got me, like,
is Elizabeth Banks just a curse on movies lately? Because like, damn, everything she does lately just is not great. Not great.
I'll take the original Rita. I'll take her any day.
I will too. Definitely. Once again, though, the movie has its flaws, but just because it's a franchise I love so much from a child, I'd like to. I don't think they ruined it. Like I wasn't angry that I saw it.
You know what the best Power Rangers movie is? Is that 15-minute YouTube video?
Yes, James Vanderbeek. Yes,
That's
oh my
best gosh. Power Ranger movie ever put on fucking film, and it's only 15 minutes on YouTube.
I agree. I wish we could get that as a Power Rangers movie. That would be awesome. Oh my goodness gracious.
Well, the best part of the 2017 movie, or I thought the best part, was that beginning scene where Bryan Cranston's the Red Ranger, and like they're all getting decimated.
That was pretty cool.
And then like that's what I wanted to see. I was like, show me more of this desolate shit. Like let's go. And then
it's kind of like a prequel. It was like you really didn't know where they came from, so it was like that was a nice refreshing bit of it. The only issue I had was all these little moody teenagers. I'm like,
little
seriously?
Bastards.
I know. I'm like.
Chris is like, I go with this every day.
They were trying to get a series like Lord Drakon series in the works for so long, but it just never came back.
Well,
sorry for that squirrel, but I was just curious.
That's okay. Well, that's what we do here.
Nathan, what I was going to say is you want to control the entire emotional spectrum. You want that? You want that? Well, there is a character, the very first Lantern, not Green Lantern, Volthoom, had the ring and had complete control of the entire emotional spectrum.
Brett, I want to read that story.
It's called Wrath of it's called Wrath of the First Lantern. It's a New 52.
That's right up my alley. I love New 52.
I feel like I might have a little bit of feels for that one. I'll
feel all over it. You know what I'm saying? I'll be touching it, feeling it, whatever.
Well, we have two more lanterns to go through, and they're quick, easy for me. Black. It's got to be green. He was the evil lantern. Or not lantern. Evil ranger. Got to be green. Anybody else? Anything else?
You already had rays for me.
Oh, that's right. I forgot y'all. Yeah.
How about what is it? Is it Cassie that eventually dies later on that replaces the Pink Ranger? Like, how about her?
There you go.
She's still the original color, but just let's go her. No, I cheated. I don't have anybody out of the original ones.
It's hard to. I mean, there's 9, colors and 7 or 7. Well, 6 or 7 depending on how you look at Rangers. And then white. I just gave it to the White Ranger because he's kind of the reborn Ranger.
Yeah.
So. There you go. Awesome question.
I missed one.
Sorry. Go ahead.
My White Lantern will be Billy.
Oh, my White Lantern is Zach.
Yeah, the one of life.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see both.
But Nathan, with Wrath of Lantern, issue 17 through 20 of Wrath of the Lantern, New 52.
Nice.
Might have to check that out. All right, cool.
It's pretty good.
My reading list grows.
Yes, exactly. Put it on the list.
There you go. Yeah, it's a big list. Let me tell you. All right, well, that's really all the news we got, or any kind of show questions. Thank you, Fanboy Clayman. I saw that online. Of course, you put Power Rangers and Green Lantern together, and I'm going to be interested. So.
Right.
Got your attention.
Yeah, it got my attention real quick. So, all right, cool. Well, let's. We got 2 more things to talk about. Let's talk about.
We got questions. You gonna do them now before we do the reviews, or what?
We have a question that leads into the first show we're about to talk about. Question.
What's Stargirl? What does Brent want to know about Stargirl?
So Brent wanted to know some stuff about Stargirl. That's right. He was messaging me here right before we started the show, and we were kind of talking right before we started the show. And let me pull this stuff up real quick. Travis, you have it in front of you?
Give me 2 seconds.
Never mind. I got it. You're good.
Okay, go.
All right, so first question. Do we have any concerns Stargirl will not stick the landings like Titans? And this is kind of what gave me the Titans joke earlier. So any of y'all, based on what you've seen on Stargirl, do you have that fear?
No.
I do not.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
No, they've been
Absolutely.
great. They've been great every episode. Even this most recent episode, it wasn't better than the one before it, but it set up the final showdown in the last 2 episodes. I think they had a perfect plan. They had 13 episodes. It was a shorter season. They didn't have to chop. The first Titan season, they had to chop up the season finale and put it and extend it to season 2 because they got renewed, and they had a different idea, like I guess the Deathstroke idea. So they just tried to drag it out a little bit. And the second season, I can't make any excuses for that. that season finale was pretty terrible in terms of just setting up your characters. I enjoyed the first 15 minutes of it, but it really didn't stick the landing. And I think Titans really needs to stick the landing this year.
It's do or die.
It can go to HBO Max if it.
I'm gonna have to do a rewatch of the second season because it's like
it's really good leading up to
it's
it.
It's a great season till the end.
Great build up
till the end.
Yeah, I agree. I think Stargirl will stick the landing. I'm fairly confident about that.
Feels like the writing is a lot stronger. I mean, it's just.
I would agree.
Yeah, it's just the build-up is how they're peeling back layers and adding layers. It makes more sense. And so it would be very. If they didn't stick the landing, it would just. I don't see how it could go off the rails. Right. Honestly, I don't.
Well, for me, the thing is with Titans is I felt the same way about Titans when I saw it. Like, the second season was great, man. Like, this is getting better. I love this story. I love where it's building up. We're getting to the last episode. I know we're going to have a fight with Deathstroke.
And then they willed it.
And then they did that. So, like, yeah, there is a possibility Stargirl's going to do that because I feel the same way. Like, I'm blown away by Stargirl. Every episode I'm excited to see. Every week I feel like it's better than the last. I'm so interested in the story and what's going on. But I'm going to say no, I don't think so. Only on the fact of I don't want it to. That's kind of my thing. I don't want to go into it thinking, well, this is going to be bad or they're going to fall on their face because they've impressed me so far. Yeah, exactly. They've impressed me so far. I'm going to continue to think they're going to impress me until they show me they won't. But I don't think they will. I think it's going to be a good show. If I write about this one, then I'm 50-50 on those calls. So I thought Titans impressed me.
I don't know about you guys, but I didn't really have that many expectations for Stargirl to begin with. So
nope, I didn't either.
But I'm falling into the expectation because every episode has been so phenomenal and building up to the next one in some form or fashion. So I don't want to have that expectation, but I do. Because I'm like, but I don't want to. I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of like a love-hate relationship. It's like I love this. I would love to see the last one, but then again, I will hate to see it. So I'm just.
Well, I heard that the next episode is going to be all the build-up to their plan. They're going to use this machine, and it's going to succeed. And the last thing you're going to hear is just wow, and it's going to be the lead-up to Owen Wilson being the bad guy.
You even had to make
he's really grunty. He's really grunty.
We're getting that striping fight pretty soon. Yeah.
Well, I don't want that one to let me down either, because I don't know, like Sarah said, I don't have any expectations, or I didn't have any expectations, and it has exceeded all of mine. Yeah, I know. So now I'm like, man, damn it.
Yeah, you're like, oh.
Greg, there was a second question from Brent.
There's actually 2 more questions from Brent.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The second question is, do we think you will see a Green Lantern on Stargirl before any of the other DCCW shows? This is interesting because the way they set up the end of Arrow with Diggle, you could look into that. It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
But man, it'd be cool if it did. Oh man,
you got to have the ring. You got the lantern, but you got to have the ring.
He got the ring at the end of Arrow.
I know, but the way that Stargirl has kind of been setting up, it's like everything has been there. It's like
oh well, you're right. He's got Alan Scott's lantern. That's true. I didn't think about that.
Greg, do you remember where Diggle and his family were moving?
I don't.
Stop it. We're not
you say it.
Diggle.
You say it.
Say it.
Metropolis.
Yeah.
Which I mean, Why? Because there's a show coming out with a certain superpower being that Green Lantern wouldn't be nearly like. He could definitely show up on that show.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Now you
Pigs
kind
can
of
fly
tickled
out
my
of my
fancy.
butt too, but like I don't really think we're gonna see. I don't think we're gonna see Daryl with the ring. I mean,
I don't know,
So-
Nathan. Never say never, buddy.
Nathan, did you think you would have seen Martian Manhunter on Supergirl show?
That's true. That's a good
I mean,
point.
have we though?
Yeah, we
Yeah, we
have.
have.
I'm
Yeah, quite a
kidding.
bit.
I know he
Quite a
does.
bit,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, okay. I kind of chopped that question up because I mentioned Diggle as Green Lantern. But do you think that you will see a Green Lantern on Stargirl before you
I don't
see
think so.
other DCCW characters?
It's like, are you going to get Flash?
I think you see Alan Scott and Jay Garrick.
I think you
And
might see
like-
them before the season ends.
That's what I'm saying. Like maybe a stinger at the finale or whatever.
Mhm.
Like maybe
I
they
really
come
hope.
back.
I
or
hope you
something
guys
this
are
time.
right. I really hope you guys are right.
Yeah. But that I don't know if that really qualifies. I mean, I guess if you see a Green Lantern, but I mean it depends. Are you going to see an Alan Scott there?
Oh, I
Or
think
like
you
a
see
new
the
one.
full
In
regalia.
live
I
time,
think
like
it's
right
cape,
there?
the cape and everything.
Or are you going to see a flashback? That's the
Yeah.
question I want to ask. Because I feel like if you're going to put a Green Lantern, introduce a Green Lantern, a live action Green Lantern for the first time, other than I guess Ryan Reynolds, you would want it to be something that could be reoccurring. You know. But I guess there's no reason Alan Scott couldn't be reoccurring.
Using your Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern. Hope maybe he'll come back again. Maybe he'll come back.
I didn't say anything about I wanted Ryan Reynolds to come back again. I didn't say that.
I thought you just said Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern. I'm sorry.
No, I said since
My
Ryan
bad,
Reynolds
my bad.
Green Lantern. That's the first live action one
okay.
you've seen.
Okay.
Right? Am I wrong? I think I'm correct.
No, you're not. You're
Okay.
not.
Okay.
Chris, what do you think?
Will we see a Alan Scott? I didn't see a dead body with Alan Scott. That's where I'll leave it.
Well, he didn't say on Scott. He just asked if we'd see a Green Lantern on Stargirl before
Yes.
any of these.
Which
Okay.
presumably, would be Alan
Yes,
Scott.
you would.
Okay.
You before you see it on any other show, or
Yeah.
On the DCCW show.
yeah, you'll see it. You'll see it there because that's where they're setting it up.
Okay. Good deal. I mean, yeah, they definitely set it up. They had the lantern there. You know, she brought up the
Guys.
point. So
You know what
I
I
just
was
have no
thinking?
expectations.
I got
I'll be surprised.
Johns. Wait, one other thing. Johns was working on Green Lantern movie
The series, I thought.
Series.
Yeah,
series.
I thought it was series.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, he could be like he could have stuff to put that into, like put a Green Lantern in a Stagirl.
that sounded weird.
Like the VFX.
No, yeah.
Like the VFX,
Oh, yeah.
VFX makeup, the VFX
Sorry.
makeup and stuff.
I get what you were saying. Yes. What were you saying, Nathan?
Craig.
I was thinking today, like I don't know why, but like I just kind of went in like this daydreaming rabbit hole. You know what I really want to see? I want to see Henry Cavill on screen with Kingdom Come Brandon Routh Superman. And like, let's have them meet up in some Elseworld, or like, let's just have them go and beat up like a Brainiac together or something. And I don't know why, but man, wouldn't you love to see those two together on
That would
screen,
be cool.
just being
That would
all
be-
Superman and shit?
So here's what's funny is most people love Brennan Routh as Superman, especially the Kingdom Come Superman, but they don't like the movie.
I
Return
got
sucks.
mixed feelings on that one. I got
Because
mixed
it's
feelings on that.
terrible.
Yeah, Return sucks. The best part was the bullet in the eye thing, and then him
That was
creating
pretty
the
cool,
cover of the car.
But there were still
So
good
that was
parts
it.
to that movie.
So you
it was
don't-
just
Sorry.
him
yes.
being creepy dad Superman, though. That was just kind of.
Yeah, like just
Superman-
staring at the
Superman-
window and shit, like X-ray
Superman
vision.
does-
in there.
So you don't mind
Superman
Brennan
doesn't throw
Routh?
one punch.
Huh?
Superman doesn't throw one punch
Yeah,
the
that's
entire
true.
movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Luthor is just all about land development with weird crystals and stuff. So like,
Oh, it's Gene Hackman all over again. That's what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
hmm
I'm not saying I liked it. I'm just saying that's what they were trying to do.
hmm
So you don't mind Brennan Routh as Superman? It's more or less the story, the movie itself.
Yeah.
You think
Yeah.
he played a good
Yeah.
Superman, just
Yeah.
not. Okay, I get that. Yeah.
I thought the trailers were outstanding, though.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, they were.
I mean, just they couldn't get me more excited to see that movie. And then I saw, I was like, oh, that was a movie.
I was the same.
I
way.
got,
was like,
I got Superman. I like
Yeah.
Brendan Routh.
Yeah.
Man of Steel trailers, on the other hand, Chris.
Well, I mean,
They did-
but see, that's not
delivered.
fair. That's comparing apples to oranges.
mhm,
I'm just saying
mhm.
that the trailers delivered. Like the
Yes,
movie
the
delivered.
yeah.
That's like comparing apples to horse apples. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, there's just.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't. I wasn't interested in Man of Steel when I saw the previews and the trailers.
You better watch your.
No, hey, as it's, you know how I feel about it now. I love that movie, man. It's like my second favorite movie ever. But I was not interested in the character. I just not care for Superman. I have a friend who's really into Superman. He was showing me the trailers and the pictures. And he's like, "It's gonna be so awesome," and I was like, "Yeah, it's Superman. Great, awesome." You know, so trailers can be misleading, I suppose. You know, because we're talking about how
whatever
cool
that
trailers
third
look
Man of Steel trailer, like that third one or the final one, is still like one of the best trailers of all time. You go back and watch that last one that been released, the third trailer.
Ideal of Hope.
Superb, yes.
Yeah, the Ideal of Hope.
I might have to go back and watch those, rewatch those after years and years of not watching them, and see what I think about them.
Oh, Greg, you'll love them.
We should do that.
You come
Retro
back-
on
you come-
trailers.
Greg-
Ooh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I think my husband pulled those up one day or what, you know, he's like just a trailer. He's like, "You remember this?" It's like, "Oh man, he's got." I'm like, okay.
You watch them, Greg, and you come back next week and you'll let us know what you think.
Yes.
I got you. Homework
Matter of fact,
assignment.
you pause and you start watching it.
Yeah,
right
let's
now.
do it right now. Pause.
Also, wait, Chris, how many episodes of Umbrella Academy did you get through?
I'm still at 5.
Okay.
Oh, so it's season 1?
I have.
Yep.
I have one done.
I'm still.
Greg, how
I'm
many
still not.
episodes?
Still not liking it.
Don't even bring it up, Travis. Yeah, don't even bring it up, Travis. Because I was going to say tonight that I have to do some catching up to do to bring up my end of the deal. I have to watch the Jordan Love Fest, and you know what?
I take it back. I take it back. I don't know why I said 5. I'm almost done. I got 7, but I'm still not. I'm
The
still
greatest,
there.
the greatest basketball and IP mogul in history. So yeah, you're gonna watch that. I mean, I'm not gonna watch it, but
Chris, I think like I said, it took me probably about episode
2
5,
conversations.
6, and then I'll like just straight up once it got to a certain point, I wanted to know more, so it just kind of escalated from there. So
I blame Doom Patrol for spoiling me. It's just I'm not saying it. I don't think it's a clone of Doom Patrol. I just like Doom Patrol better.
I understand.
Chris, I had the
I
same
don't
problem
think it
with
is.
Legends.
I don't because you guys know how much I love Doom Patrol. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's
It's not a clone, but I just say I like it better than this.
you just have to be in a different kind of state of mind. It's like a different.
It just feels his odd comic book show quota.
Well,
is
yeah.
Doom Patrol. And I had the same problem with Legends. I don't. After seeing Doom Patrol,
Legends got other problems.
Yeah.
that too. But even the zany hijinks are nowhere near the level of Doom Patrol.
Right.
I think it
it's
just felt
kinda-
like binging all those episodes together. If I watched one day and then a couple of days and then watched another one, I think it probably would have not been as coherent. I mean, I think
Okay.
that's what kind of helped me a little bit. It's just watching it sequentially.
Okay,
So,
Sure.
that makes
but I
sense.
really enjoyed them. I mean, I saw the episode 1 today of season 2, and I'm like, I'm excited. So.
I haven't got to watch it.
I'm not gonna say anything about it. I was just
I
saying
watched the
was
first 3
excited.
episodes of Transformers War for Cybertron, and let me just tell you,
Watched all 6 last night.
damn it!
Yes,
it.
sir.
See, I got
Yes,
3,
sir.
but it's good, isn't it? And
It's-
like I was saying,
I don't-
the guy that does it, well, I'm not so far.
I know.
like it.
I don't want to say
The
too
guy
much.
that does Optimus's voice, like he's doing a great Peter Cullen impression.
Mhm.
But the Megatron voice, I think, is really, really well done. It's the great animation, like it's a desolate war. Like I don't know. So far, really, really enjoying it, and I'm only 3 episodes in.
I did. I enjoyed
Yeah.
it.
We're definitely going to talk about that next week. Give us a little time
Yes.
to watch that. But real quick, we were talking about Stargirl.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Before we were talking about
we don't
whatever
care
we were
about
talking
Bert's
about,
question. I
like,
told you I was chasing a squirrel.
we went on like 7 different tangents
Hey.
there, and every
All
time I
right,
was like,
okay,
wait,
wait,
and then I
wait.
wanted to hear what you said. Wait,
In
I wanna hear what you
Flashpoint.
said.
In Flashpoint, let's just get Brandon Routh and Henry Cavill together in the Flashpoint movie, okay? Just for one scene. Let Barry run through time, like, hey, well,
Yeah.
look at that cool shit, and just go right by.
I think
I'm
it might be
happy.
kind of cool, like, because when you saw Barry and Ezra together, like the two, and they're just like, I think it would just be cool just seeing them on, Brandon and.
Damn it, I'm taking us back down a path. Okay, sorry. Back to
You're
Stargirl.
good.
Back
Well,
to
take us on a
Stargirl.
new
Back
path,
out.
man. Talk to us
Yeah,
about
Brandon, have another
Stargirl.
question?
Oh yeah, but he
Yeah.
did have one more question, and that was
What do you got?
what was the last comic book you read? And I had to sit down and think about this one. The last comic book I read,
Comic book or graphic novel? Or is
either
it
one, I'm
either
sure.
or?
Either one.
It was Watchmen for me, so that tells you how long ago it was. Actually, it was Aquaman.
Okay.
I forgot which one it was. It was Aquaman. One I've had like for eons, and it was on my
Aquastud.
room. No, it was the one where he was wearing the. It's only one of. I think it was a series. Seems like we had talked about this eons ago. We had like the different, like the blue colored suit. Shoot, I know exactly where it's at right now. I can't remember what the actual, but anyway, it's like I kind of go to that one, and then like I have an old Wonder Woman one I read every so often. But.
Okay.
For me, it was Injustice Year 2 that I did a review on with a certain somebody. And if we're not gonna,
shameless plug.
If we're not gonna count that, I guess I'll go with Doomsday Clock.
Okay. What about you, Chris? This dude, can you even remember? You read so many.
Big one.
2 hours.
I read 4 today.
I'm
4 different runs.
I'm finishing up Last Night on Earth.
Okay.
Batman Last Night on Earth. Their last tale of Batman.
All right.
Snyder and Capullo. So,
Nathan?
Well, let's see. After watching the trailer for
Venom.
King in Black, it's I went back to Donny Cates' run, and I read his trade of Venom Volume 1, Venom Volume 2, War of Realms, which is kind of picked up after him, and it's not all done, but it fits that storyline. And then I read Venom number 16 in the trade paperback Volume 3, and then I stopped, and I'm halfway through Absolute Carnage now, because that's the way I read it. It just kind of falls in there. I'm halfway through Absolute Carnage, and then I'll go back to Venom Volume 3, and in like 2 weeks, Venom Volume 4 comes out. So basically, that's what I'm reading, because god damn, it's fantastic.
There you go.
I'm pretty sure, Nathan, I thought I heard Brent say that was his favorite comic that's out right now.
Yes, it's
Venom?
fantastic. It's great.
It's a really, really good one. For me, the last comic, I've been really busy lately. Last comic I read was Flashpoint for the review we did a few weeks ago. The next comic I know I'm going to read is White Knight. I've already read it once. I think once, all the way through one time at least. Going to read it again this weekend for a upcoming show to talk about it, because I always like talking about these kind of shows. And then I know that I like Chris pointing me in the direction of comics. I want to start reading Deceased. I know it's not
so
new,
good,
but yeah, I want to start reading Deceased.
I want to read that.
Is that in the trade yet?
oh yeah, it's been in a trade for a while.
I want that cyborg cover.
I don't know things.
I want the cyborg cover.
No, I'm just saying it's out there. So yeah, you should be able to find it.
Okay, good deal.
I'm just reading shit.
That's it for comics right there. Well,
I think it's even on. Let me see how many. They might actually. I don't know if it got the full run on DC Universe. Let me check.
They do.
I like a book in my hand.
I know.
Yeah, I'm the same kind of way, man. Digital's hard
That screen
to
will
read.
put me to sleep.
Well, the screen is not moving, makes me bored, I guess.
You've already paid for it, so
That's true.
This is true.
I don't like using things I pay for, though. So
Yeah, me either.
it's no fun.
you only got the first 3 issues, so it'll hook you.
Yeah, at least get you in there. Yeah. So, okay, but that's pretty much all the questions we had leading up to Stargirl. But let's talk about some Stargirl. And Travis, I'm gonna get you going with this one, man. Stargirl, give me some thoughts overall this week, and then we'll get into it. And then just kind of go around with that, because I gotta go to the bathroom.
Okay. Getting a little behind the curtain here, listeners.
There you go. It happens. Drink enough beer. It happens.
I gotta say, I really enjoyed just getting a little bit more backstory on Shining Knight and having him finally leak up with Pat. I really enjoyed that part, and I also enjoyed the whole Pat stepping up as stepfather and all the emotional beats that came with that. I thought this was a really heavy on the emotional moments for characters, specifically Courtney. But even then, I thought that was played great, and I was afraid they were going to do one specific hero trope they've done in Arrow and Flash and Supergirl, where the hero loses, I want to say, belief in themselves, and it takes them an episode and a half to get it back, to be able to either use their powers or to be able to get back out there. But in Stagirl, they took care of it in, I want to say, 15 minutes, and I couldn't have been more happy with that.
Chris?
I said this on DC This Week lines that what I really enjoyed, I think the biggest moment was her, Courtney, and Pat's talking in the basement when the staff wouldn't work. And I mean, he just gives such great speeches. He's a great dad. But just saying it had the staff knew that you weren't his daughter. The staff saw on you something different, something more than that, and that she had to have both her mom and Pat come down and be with her to give her that confidence to restore her faith at that point. For this, that was just I think that was one of the best scenes in the whole episode. That was just that. I just like seeing how far she's grown in just such a short time. You know, it's a very impressive, and even though it's been fast, it's quite believable for her.
Well, let me ask you this. I know I just jumped in on this. Sorry.
No, good.
What did you guys think about Barbara kind of like jumping into it, and because you kind of left it, she was like, "What's going on?" And now she's all like, "Oh, well, we have to help. What's going? Her acceptance was really." That was one thing kind of threw me off a little bit. I'm like, you were so quick to accept that. I mean, I get it, but I just thought that was kind of quick.
If you think about it, Sarah, what has Courtney been doing this whole season?
Well, yeah.
Quick to accept things, investigate stuff.
But I think her mom, what she realized as far as like Jordan, especially when she had the translation of what his.
Oh yeah, she got the same way as Courtney.
She was like, "Hold on a second. There is maybe you guys."
You see where Courtney got some of these traits from.
Right.
It's a good point, Travis. It's a really good point.
She investigates.
Which podcast did you listen to get that thought? No, I'm just
GC Lines.
Whoa! Shots.
But I mean, I thought even with that, with her mom, because as a mom personally, I would be upset to find out this, but. I don't know if I'd be so quick to accept, even if I had it laid out in front of me. I'd probably still a little bit like, no, you're not about to do this.
You would have told you had one
discussion. She aired out those things too, though, Sarah.
Right. Yeah.
Mini discussion, but Courtney was like, it doesn't matter anymore because staff wasn't working. But she was like, like what I want to do right now is get you in that vehicle and drive away with you. But there's people here, like there's good families here. Said there's people that's safe. Like, if I let you do this, you may die.
But if she had if she had not translated what Jordan's his parents had said, I don't think she would have followed.
I don't think those are his parents.
Or with his family or whomever.
They definitely are.
Oh, they're definitely his parents.
But I just feel like even.
Well, spoilers.
Spoilers? What's there to spoil about it?
I was waiting for the twist. Okay.
I mean, personally, I think if it wasn't that moment where she didn't have, because that was kind of proof for her that what Pat and Courtney were saying wasn't completely, utter lunacy like she thought, to begin with. So I just thought that just kind of struck me, is how quickly she was accepting of, okay, this is what's going on, and let's see. I mean, obviously she wants to protect her child, which I get that, but that was just an interesting concept to me. So,
she wasn't full. Sorry, she wasn't fully accepting until after that translation. She got curious about it, but she started fully accepting it after that. But
it was still cool that she took the step to find out instead of like just totally closing off and saying, no, you're not doing this. I don't care. Period. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So.
Well, I feel like she was, but you're coming from it from a mother's point of view, with kids, and I feel like I have as a father, you're right. In real life, it would be hard to accept that. Mm-hmm. I don't think I could go that easily either. But
yeah, and that's the thing that gets me, because now that I am a parent, a lot of times, like otherwise, I'm like, yeah, this is cool, and then I'm like, wait a minute.
So I'll say it's one thing that I'm glad they didn't spend a ton of time on. Travis, you were talking about before about the ton of time on the trope of her not having the staff and powers. Yeah. It's a great thing they didn't spend the time on. It's one thing that I realize in real life it wouldn't work that way, but I don't want to spend a lot of time wasted on this. I want the story to progress and move on to a different type thing.
But it was still an important part. I mean, I
Yeah,
still feel
very
like
much
it was
so. Very, very
a
much
bit
so.
a growing point for Courtney as well.
They
so,
just didn't drag it out. That's all. That's what I like.
yeah.
What'd y'all think about Courtney's dad?
God, what an
Perfect
asshole.
casting.
Yeah, very good casting because the whole time I'm looking at that picture, I'm thinking it's Joel McHale. And they picked a guy that should be in that picture that's not Joel McHale, so it worked out pretty well. Like I was like, oh, they did a good job with that.
I felt bad for her though. I really did because she had it built up so, that the fact that Starman was her dad, and then she finds out this guy's her dad, and she's like, and then her mom's like, I told you, sorry.
Well, it's not even a matter of that, I think. Like, it would suck to feel like you know who your dad is and you want him to be this guy and it's somebody else. It's the way he ended up being in the end. Like, it's one of those things that I knew the moment that he started talking about the locket, I was like, oh, this is going to go bad.
Yeah,
this is going to go real bad. And, there's the moment, of course, with Pat where he just, man, I love that scene.
Absolutely.
Watched that scene a couple times. Absolutely loved it. I would do this for my daughters. Yeah.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Fantastic.
All right, thank you.
Greg, that couldn't work out any better that Nathan was gone for that whole thing. Because he would have just definitely made fun of you for being emotional there.
It's all right.
And he'll never know.
I'm surprised Barbara didn't hit him.
right.
I was waiting for her to hit him, saying,
He's back,
piece
he's
of
back.
crap.
No, sorry. Good. Sarah, what were you saying?
No, I was surprised because Barbara, she was just like, kind of like, I told you, I'm sorry. It is what it is. She was kind of embarrassed too because I'm sorry, that's your dad. I didn't say I made the best choices in life, but
And I think that kind of goes back to one of those things of a mother trying to tell a daughter something, or father and son, or vice versa, father daughter, of them trying to tell them something and be like, hey, this is how it is, and the child just not realizing because they haven't gone through the life experience of, okay, this is really how it is. Like I feel like everything can be better, but it's not. And once I get older, I'll realize that everybody goes through that in life, and they did a good job portraying that through that story.
I'll give Courtney credit because
her mom was a floozy. And she just figured it out.
I'll give Courtney credit because she was like, okay, well, you're my dad, so I mean, he's like, well, I want to do it, and she's like, okay, it's kind of like we'll try this and see what happens. But I think she knew it's like, no, you haven't been there, so it is what it is.
No.
So I give her a little bit of credit on that. She
wanna-
tried, but I think she realizes it won't happen.
Oh yeah. I want to talk about the controversy of Brainwave, and I feel like as far as his acting skills, the guy who plays this role from the last episode, the last scene you saw him in, to what he looks like in this episode, because he looks very much more intimidating. It almost feels like he's intimidating Jordan. I said the name right, Jordan.
Yeah.
It almost feels like that, like he's intimidating Jordan. Like you kind of feel like maybe he's the one who could be in charge if he really wanted to, Anybody else get that vibe?
Yeah, a little bit, Greg. He's gone back to the way he was in the first two episodes, or two episodes, yeah, in the first 2 episodes until he was put in a coma. He was the exact same way. So he only had that brief little bit of time with Henry before Dr. Ito got his hands on him. So I'm wondering if perhaps he was brainwashed or anything himself, and maybe we might see the path to that at the end of the season.
I think you're on to something there. I really think that's what it is. 10 years of not being able to remember anything. He even tells, Julian, I said it again, Jordan is talking about wanting to save Barbara and, Courtney and everything. And, he even talks about, I killed my wife and my son for this cause. Like, you can't let go of this woman that works for you. Which lets you see the feelings that Jordan may have for Barbara, because I feel like there's something there, just looking into it. I'd be a little upset if I was on the other end of that. Let's put it that way.
But it makes me question Brainwave unto himself. I mean, because I'm like, okay, well, you took out your wife and your son. What?
Yeah, you're a monster.
What do you have to live for? I mean, what is your purpose?
That's why I think it's brainwashed. I really do.
To be diabolical.
I mean, because seriously, what's the point of making, the world a better place if you don't really have anybody in it to
They don't want to make it a better place. They want to make it a controlled place.
Yeah, and for what purpose? That's just kind of, It just seems like it kind of goes.
Communist bastards.
Possibly so.
I'd say more dictatorship at that point, but that's just me.
No.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, let's talk about Shining Knight. What do y'all think of his portrayal in this show so far? It's. I don't particularly like it, but it doesn't mean it can't be salvaged and they can't have a better
not my
character
Shining
than this.
Knight.
Huh? Yeah.
Hashtag not
What
my
don't you
Shining
like
Knight.
about it, Greg?
I don't like
the.
the skittish, like, scared type thing. I get it. It goes with the story they're telling. So they're telling a good story to go with that. So I feel like in the future it's going to be better. I just didn't like it before. I don't know. I would have written a different story that wouldn't have been as good, I'm sure, to bring the character in. I just don't like him, being brainwashed and being so skittish and scared. But I get it. It's part of the story. I get it, and they're doing a good job moving that story forward. So I'll see what happens, and maybe I'll end up liking this character a lot more.
Well, you notice Pat saying that he's the bravest and most courageous man he ever met.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see the way he is, it just shows the ultimate torture of the ISA, because like even though the JSA disbanded, some of them were killed, he went after these people anyway here.
He went
And
Rado.
well, he went after Rado, Dragon King, and he got him. So I can only imagine experimenting. Like you see what he did to his own daughter. So I can only imagine what he did to Shining Knight.
Why wouldn't Dragon King just kill him though? Like,
because that's even more torture, Greg, to make him scared and vulnerable, like make him completely not what he used to be.
You can only kill somebody once. You can torture him for life by doing this.
Yeah.
Amen, Nathan. You can stick it into janitor as janitor, and you got so many people in that school already. They would know if he ever started to do anything, and they can basically make his life a living hell.
very good point. Very, very good point. Let's see. Talking a lot about, have a lot of notes about Sam and him being such a bad dad, because I hated seeing that. I have Pat as the fucking man written down because he is.
Job well done by the writers for this episode.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So Jordan looks through Barbara's history. And she's done a little research herself, and he gets to see that old paper of Icicle killing Starman. And do you think that was what convinced her, right there, that this might be real? There's some validity to this.
Well, she saw that, and then she translated what his parents said, because she looked at that, and then that's when Pat came in, like the previous episode. Pat came in, and then she said, and then she was kind of like, I guess she kind of started putting two and two together about possibly that he, Jordan could be who they were. Pat and Courtney were saying who he was.
All right. I'm trying to think. Looking through all the notes here. One scene that I did like about Shining Knight was I liked how at the end when she gets the staff back and his phrase is "Our Queen has risen." That's pretty cool. Good way to almost end it. There was one question I had that we talked about on DC Alliance podcast about them talking about Mike leaving behind a legacy, and I wasn't sure exactly what that meant. Do y'all think that means anything more than just the lineage of knowledge from this, or do you think that it means something more for Mike?
No, I think it's just get rid of everybody in their bloodline, or they'll come back to try and get revenge on us.
Okay.
Because at this point, they still may think that Starman is actually Courtney's father.
They probably do.
Yeah.
Good point. Well, that's about it, man. What else? Did y'all have any notes you want to bring up? Anything about Stargirl y'all want to talk about that I haven't?
I'm just excited for the last two episodes.
Yeah, last two episodes were really good.
I think
I'm
they could
excited,
end up
but
being
yeah,
the best DCCW show this year if it finishes strong.
Please don't be 23 episodes. Please don't be 23 episodes. Oh my goodness gracious!
Definitely,
Please
yeah.
don't be. We'll wait and see, man. We'll find out soon. Okay, cool. Well, last thing to talk about. Let's talk about the freshest thing tonight, and that's Doom Patrol. I just finished watching when I got off work.
I just watched it today too.
Yeah, very
I
very
watched it
emotional
today,
episode. Like I said, there was, when I opened the show, that nobody heard, and I'll say it again, there's not been many shows that in one episode make me want to punch the TV and hug the TV so many times in one episode, and this one did. So Doom Patrol sets the record for that one for me, sets the bar. Let me get y'all's overall thoughts, and then I've got two teenagers or almost teenagers fighting. I've got to break up real quick.
Go karate chop the shit out of them.
Go. Get him.
This is not the only episode of Doom Patrol where I wanted to punch and hug somebody. I mean,
It's like every episode.
oh my! Is it just this season? This season has just been like that. It's like it's low and then it's high and it's low. And you're just like, oh my! I can't handle this emotional roller coaster.
I just want to hug Niles. He just needs a hug.
I just want to thank Timothy Dalton because we didn't get much of him last season where he was kidnapped by Mr. Nobody. But what a fantastic actor!
Yeah,
he was like one-dimensional last season. This season, oh man, you're just getting it all different.
This show wouldn't be nearly as good if they kept the same chief that they had for the Titans backdoor pilot. Because I just love Timothy Dalton. I think he's fantastic. I love the design. I love loving this. Devise's cup phone. I was just like, what?
It's hilarious.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. It was amazing.
And then
I like that Cliff, like, he got some fucking time with his daughter, like, and he got excited because he found out it was a boy, and like, good for Cliff, you know. I mean, I didn't like that he cooked a finger and then just, you know, with the finger and sausage juice together, he's like, here, just eat these other sausages, I'll cook your finger. Gross. But I mean, like, I'm glad that he got some stuff, and like, I'm starting to agree with Larry. Like, what are you doing, Negative Spirit? Are you just trying to crush him on like a weekly basis of like, hey, look, Larry's starting to he's starting to get over some shit. Let's crush him with memories of how, you know, much of an asshole he was and an absentee father, you know, for 60 years playing with band. Like,
that was a good father-son moment, though.
It was.
You know,
So
I feel like this entire episode was based on two themes. It's fathers being good or bad,
Oh God.
and and having the ability to be a hero and not doing it. Like, those are the two themes this kind of episode is based off of, which is two big questions that I feel like weren't really answered by the end of the episode. So maybe that's kind
God, I wanted to punch Kate's fucking dad. Like, I wanted to choke slam that son of a bitch and throw him down that well.
I wanted to
With
hurt that
nothing.
guy
I wanted to
laughing.
break his legs and break his arms and throw his ass down that well and just, you motherfucker. Ugh.
I'm not gonna lie, I almost wanted to stop watching it after the opening scene. I was like, oh,
Man, with that little girl, God,
Yeah, I don't wanna watch
girl
this.
going down there. I was
Oh
like,
my
oh,
gosh.
God. She played she was very convincing.
that was a punch
Well, what
moment.
got me is the fact when she lost her stuffed animal, because I know what
Oh
my
man,
kid loses their stuff. You're just like,
shit.
oh, I'm just like,
So like, not only did we find out in season 1 that like he was obviously like sexually abusing her, but like also like just abusing like mentally torturing her. She's like, oh God, no.
who puts a kid down a well?
Oh,
What
God,
is
this monster.
A
This
very
monster.
disturbed individual.
Very,
What
very
is
much
wrong?
so.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Jesus, no wonder Kate
broke
has
off.
so many personalities. Yeah, like no wonder she's split. She needs all those different ones. Like, holy hell.
Well,
But
so
what's up with the fact of?
good.
Oh, sorry, Greg.
No, go ahead.
What's the fact with when I guess was it Miranda threw
Jane.
Jane down there, and then you saw the other ones?
That's
Yeah,
because she threw them down there.
Yeah, she was killing them, I think.
Yeah, and you're like,
That was in the well in the underground.
I'm kind of upset that Scarlet Harlot's down there because I don't know about you, but Diane Guerrero looks really good when she transforms into Scarlet Harlot. And I'm pissed that they did kill her off. I'm like, you bastards! Sorry, that was me just being
well, because it gave you
being
the
all hetero and stuff. But like, come on
Gave
now.
gave you the thought that maybe
Getting your
maybe
purr
Kay was
out,
healing. Maybe the fact that Kay was healing, and now it's like you're thinking Miranda's good. Now your question is Miranda.
Well, I don't
What?
understand it in a sense because Miranda had Jane's full cooperation at that point in time.
Yeah.
So like
Miranda's not
it's-
Miranda. Something
it's
happened.
like-
Like who's invading the underground?
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Did the Candlemaker leave her prey? Because like he was there right after he got in there. Like some weird shit got in there, and now Miranda's all like, oh, like so, like something is obviously not right, and that's not actually the psyche of Miranda. Something's up.
We'll see.
Well, speaking of,
Good.
no, go ahead and finish that up because I'm
Okay.
probably going to go on like different tangents.
Okay, I wanted to ask about that. I wanted to ask, she's Kay when she's younger, and then in the scene when she's older, she wants to go by Miranda. So does that mean that?
No, that's a different personality.
It's a different person. Kay is like the.
So she's the Miranda
actual
was the
person.
original split. Miranda was the first split.
That's
when
what I'm
she's
wondering.
down there and she goes and she says, "I'm Miranda," because she's Kay when she goes down in the bucket, and then she snaps in Miranda. That's when she jumps out,
what I was
puts the
wondering.
bear in there, and climbs up the rope to get out. That was the first personality that she needed.
Well, no, because
to
her father told her before he put her down there, before she climbed out,
stop
to
this
stop
Miranda
talking
shit.
about this Miranda
Yeah.
shit. So Miranda
Because
was
she
around
snapped
before
into
then.
her.
Well, Miranda
No,
was
that's
probably
what-
like this survival instinct to me. That it's
Okay.
just kind of like, okay, here I am, a little girl or whatnot. And then
Well, yeah.
you have this personality pops out that kind of protects.
The well's kind of what I figured made her snap. You know what I mean? After like she like Miranda kissed to help her stop. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the first personality to be strong or whatever. Because she stood up to her, the dad. You know what I mean? Like she did. Like she stood up to her, and then like as she climbed out, she's all defiant and shit. She's like, "We will take care of her." She's like,
Well,
that was my
it-
impression.
It also shows that she's way smarter and much more conniving than
There's more facets to
like
Miranda.
there is a big plan that she's tried to implement, and unfortunately Jane has been thrown down the well, and she's trying to take her out because obviously Jane is a threat to Miranda.
Because Jane was always like the, I guess,
She's
kind of like the
questioning.
alpha.
Yeah,
like the one that you see majority of the time. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't keep up.
What y'all think of the? There's been a couple of montages in the last few episodes. The
Love it. I love all of them.
Beekeeper and Borg.
Yep, the Avengers.
Yeah.
B and Borg, yes.
From
Yeah,
all of the
Bee and Borg.
Avengers. I love it.
Yeah.
Pee-wee Justice League.
I thought it was pretty cool. They're trying to do this Rita, and that's what I was saying. It's this episode's about heroes and not being heroes. It's a matter of the ability to be and the ability to not be, and choosing what you're going to be, whether you have it or not. And Roni has the ability to be, but she's not. Rita tries to have the ability to be, and she wants to be. Cyborg always has that battle. It's a crazy mindset. What's going on with Roni? Like, do you think, or Ronnie? Is it Ronnie or Roni? Ronnie. What's going on with her? Like, do you think Roni? Sorry.
You're a jabroni.
Dark seed.
My Cerrone.
Yeah.
It's how I read things. What do you think? Do you think this is a character that's going to continue on in the future, or you're about to see the end of this character pretty soon?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Was that an I don't know sound?
I don't know.
That's what I was about to say. Is he burping or what?
I don't know. She could come back as like a villain.
She never made. She was pretty honest about the fact that she is who she is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And despite the fact of whatever the relationship is and whatnot, she's like, these people did what they did to me, and I'm gonna fight back. So I don't know. It's almost like she's a kind of a antithesis to Cyborg, because he has the best intentions. Yeah, she's like, I've been through all this, and they've done this, that, and other, and I took this guy out, yes, because I needed this in order to survive.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just see her as an antithesis to him, to be honest with you.
She punked him. Like, he wasn't expecting. She threw his ass all the way across that diner. I was like, come on, Simon. She walked over and just started jacking him. I'm like, come on,
he
man. What are you
put
doing?
that can in her face, though, and she stepped back.
Oh, yeah, he did. First of all.
So goes so many different directions. I had the next point I wanted to bring up. Nathan threw me off it. Yeah, go
now
ahead and
you're
talk
thinking
to
about Big's Cannon.
Yeah.
Well, my next thing was with Dorothy, because I know Chief wanted to keep her as a little girl, and unfortunately, things happen where you're not always a little girl, and I guess that has something to do with Candlemaker, because if she hits puberty or maturity or whatever it is, that released him. So now it's.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, she's going to be forced to make a wish or something? That's what I'm implying. Like, I don't understand.
I'm not
That's
quite
what I
sure
wanted to
about
ask.
that.
Yeah.
But I kind of felt that whole scene there, because Been there, done that.
Well,
That was a good
you
moment.
have
That
to,
was
we
a
have to
good
listen.
moment.
You have to
Sorry,
listen
Chris?
to what he's saying, and that she brings about like a catastrophe of ending the world. She becomes an adult. Candlemaker is free. There's
That-
two
Well-
ways
Okay,
he
that's what I
becomes
want-
free at that point.
So it's either the third wish or when she becomes an adult.
Correct.
Because I know that before you said that you thought she was going to make the third wish to save her
That's-
father, and it looked
Yeah,
like
I
they
did
were
too.
setting him up to be like about to die with the way he was coughing, and it looked like they were
Well,
setting
that's
that
what
up.
they're setting
So
up with that.
Well, I think
Yeah.
age is like, or time is starting to catch up with him. So I think
Yeah.
that's just a natural
How
progression.
about Kipley and like all the little knights around there about to kill a bunny and like they're getting advice from each
Guinea
other. I
pig.
was like, what?
Was it a
what
bunny
is
or a
this?
Furby? yeah,
I
It's a
don't
guinea
know.
Guinea pig.
The guinea
Yeah.
pig was
Gerbil?
it?
Yeah, guinea pig maybe.
I don't know. It was a
White
something.
ball
But I
with
thought
The
Oh,
that
guinea
was
pig
hilarious.
talks. It's awesome.
And
Yeah.
what did he say? What did he say? He's like,
he was
news
predicting
from,
the prophecy. He was predicting.
Well,
the-
no, he
what
said
the
news from
apocalypse.
over the fields and valley. Or what did he say? Because it's an
Like,
old
over the
timey thing you hear in the
Valleys
I don't know,
and
but
through the woods. Or
yeah, it was good though. I liked the way he said it. I was like, huh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
I just thought that was a weird scene, anyways, with all those guys around. I'm like, what y'all about
yeah,
to do? I
Because
was
you
like,
haven't seen
somebody
that or
put
any
that
context. Yeah, there's been nothing leading up to that.
And you
I
know
like
what? That's fine.
Rita.
That's Doom Patrol. You just accept it.
Right.
I like how Rita's wearing her
Okay.
beekeeping outfit because her head's all 40 times too big because they wrote a little blurb on her helping somebody one time. That was hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, this show, man, it takes it to all new levels, and there's one episode left, right?
Yep, that's
Yeah.
it.
We have one more week of covering this show, and then season 3 is going to be on HBO Max or
Yep.
yeah, HBO Max. So I don't know if you can go more extreme with this show, but if anybody can, HBO will.
There'll be 10 times more fucks.
How can
Wow,
there
there's
be?
only
dude?
like 56 an
So
episode.
much.
Yeah,
I think this
They-
was the least amount this episode,
But
though.
me too.
yeah, I
me
agree.
too.
I agree. Well, Cliff was happy.
Back on this.
Yeah, Cliff was happy this episode. So
It's about darn
I
time.
love how he still has
It
a
is.
blood feud with the rats. Like that shit cracks me up.
Yeah.
He's
Like,
stay away from
Yeah.
windows.
Yeah.
Blood feud.
I'm
with
in a
rats,
blood
yeah.
feud with the rats. And then he's
Yeah.
talking about, he's like, I used to deliver a couple rat babies. And what, you squish him or something? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, I love the interaction.
No, you
with
see
him.
my,
That
you
was
see
fun.
my room? And he goes in there still. He's like, she's like, whoa. And he's like, yeah, it was a little bit crazy, but when we were little, we lived there. Like, it was all normal and stuff.
Yeah.
He just talked to her. He's like, yeah,
But
we
his
used to live
daughter,
there.
she was just like,
Where's your
Mhm.
bed?
okay, I'm good with that. All
Yeah.
right, cool, whatever. But
He's
then
like-
again, it's like her dad's a robot. So,
Yeah.
I mean, how can she think there's anything weird?
Right. Exactly. Oh, she's like, "Where's your bed?" And he's like, "I'm like a horse. I don't need a bed." Yeah.
He was so happy when he got that invitation at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
it
was
was.
wicked.
Mhm.
That was wicked to see.
It is. It's crazy to see a robot look happy, but you can see Cliff happy in this episode. Just his mannerisms, the way he moved, the way he talked. It was fun to see it. It was like
Yeah.
a little kid, you know.
Brendan Fraser's voice has been like phenomenal throughout this entire series.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Perfect
it's just
casting.
his inflection, and it's just been fantastic.
Very, very good casting. But, well, y'all got anything else you want to bring up about Doom Patrol? We got one episode left of Doom Patrol's 2 episodes of Stargirl. We're getting close to the end of that.
No, I thought this was the last one of Stargirl. Isn't? Yeah, this is the last one.
Yeah, last one. No more Stargirl.
I thought it was 2 parts.
Is it 2 parts?
Oh, I was just
That's what
kidding.
it's-
No, I really think there is.
says.
Yeah, one more episode of Stargirl left, right?
Let's see.
It says on
Oh, no.
IMDb 2 parts, but I mean,
Okay,
that could be
2 parts.
definitely right.
Yeah,
That could definitely be right, though.
So there's another episode of Stargirl, right?
yeah.
I hope.
Oh yeah.
I hope. Yeah, because
It says Stars and Stripes Part 1 and Stars and Stripes
Okay.
Part 2.
okay.
More weeks.
I thought
Yeah,
there was
they're,
2.
they're not going to end it on a yucky
they got
emotional
more.
stuff.
Well, no, I
Oh.
wasn't saying ending it. I was saying like next week being possibly the last.
Gotcha,
one,
but
so.
it's yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's 2 more.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you never know with COVID what they're gonna stop. So I think
Mm.
Doom Patrol was supposed to be 2 more episodes, right? They ended up making it
One
one.
more
One.
episode.
Well, but it was supposed to
Oh,
be 2
well, yeah.
originally, right? Yeah. They ended up making it 1.
Bless
I mean, hey, we're
Thank
gonna
you.
we're gonna get what we get, and it's gonna be awesome. I mean,
Hey, we
We're
got
gonna enjoy it.
Academy
We don't-
season 2. We got some Transformers to talk
That's right.
about. We got stuff.
We
Oh
don't-
man, we
we don't-
definitely
we
got
don't-
stuff to talk about.
We don't have to worry about somebody being left in a mirror world for
Mm.
the rest of the hiatus. I think we're okay with Doom
All
Patrol.
right, cool.
I think we're
I
all
thought
stuck in the
maybe-
mirror world right now.
Yeah, feels like it. But yeah, man, like Nathan was saying, dude, we got Umbrella Academy Season 2, we got The Boys, we got Transformers coming up, we got all kinds of stuff.
Did we talk about The Boys, that little clip that they released or whatever?
We did last week.
To promote Season 3? Okay, yeah, I was making sure.
We did.
Making sure.
So, yeah, it's coming up soon. What, Boys is in what, like 2-3 weeks?
Greg,
September 4th.
Greg, we're going to have to fight Marvel Alliance to the death to see who reviews that show.
Which one?
Which one?
The Boys.
What do you mean fight?
Nobody's going to fight. It's not Marvel or DC. We're going to cover it on here, buddy.
I was about to say, what's fighting?
Right here.
I was making a joke because there's no shows on.
Mr. B. Snail better come try to join us.
You know what? Hey, now that y'all mentioned that, it is a good time to bring up the Super Civil Servants podcast is very, very possibly in the future going to be a part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance, which is going to cover all the stuff that is not DC and Marvel and Star Wars. We'll still cover all that stuff, the trinity of the three, or the trinity of the, fantasy world or geek world. But
Game of Thrones podcast.
That's right. We're going to be the show that brings you all the rest of that stuff, and details to come in the future. But as far as I understand it, man, Geek Ultimate Alliance is going to be the new home of Super Civil Servants podcast in the near future, which we're all in there anyway as hosts, and y'all hear a lot more of us on that network. So. Check it out. News to come, and I don't think it'll be very long, maybe a week or two. So I'll definitely put stuff out there about the feed and what's going to happen with that and where to find us, because it'll be very simple to do so.
Sure.
But that's...
I'll be glad to join you guys.
Huh?
I'll be glad to join you.
Oh, of course. Glad to have you. But you know what? With all that being said, man, we've covered just about everything we want to tonight, except for the first 30 minutes that I cut out that we'll never get back again. I feel like an idiot. Nobody will ever hear how much we love Sandman. Sucks.
So great.
You blew it.
I bet you I can talk these guys into talking about it again. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe.
And there goes Travis. Look, he just vaporized.
Yep. Well, before he vaporizes, Travis, where can they find you at, buddy?
You can find me on Twitter at Travis_156. You can drop me a line and we can chat about DC, Marvel, pretty much anything. I host 2 shows with Greg, DC Alliance on Tuesdays, and Super Discussions on Fridays, both with the Geek Ultimate Alliance. You can find out your podcatcher of choice. Blah. There we go.
There you go. Chris, where can they find you, buddy?
Find me on Twitter at Chris Balga. You can follow both shows where I'm on. I got Marvel Alliance at Marvel 8 Podcast, and then World's Finest True Believers. So we got Marvel Alliance. We'll have some possibly some switching up of days. We'll make that announcement this week of when we're going to be moving the shows. Same thing with the World's Finest True Believers. But yeah, this week we got a lot of topics to.
Nobody told me you were moving.
You have to listen. Sorry. But yeah, we got some topics to talk about this week on Marvel. We got some news coming out of Captain. What's that? What am I dropping? Yes, we're dropping on Monday.
Will that be dropping?
That'll be dropping on Monday.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, looking at Captain Marvel, Secret Invasion, the drop from Hollywood Reporter on Bryan Singer's hoardness at that point. And then on World's Finest True Believers, a retro episode with our good buddy Tim Rooney, his first time on the show, looking at The Long Halloween.
What a great book. Greg, can I say one other thing?
Sure.
Suck at Jody's corner.
Nope.
Suck at Jody's corner. I hope you don't ever come back.
Why do you give him a name? He's huge,
Because-
very nameless.
I hope
What
you
happened?
don't
I
ever
heard.
come back
I
to
heard.
YouTube.
I didn't hear
He's
anything.
a-
So what did he
Well,
tell?
you would have known if you were on Twitter.
Well,
Yeah,
sorry.
Nathan.
Sometimes,
Gosh.
I don't.
Go dig through your timeline.
Yeah. No. What did he say? Tell me. Come on.
Look
Fill
at
me in.
it. I can't. He's too outrageous. Go look at it.
Come on.
Go look at
Come on.
No,
Damn.
it's
Come
too
on.
much.
Come on.
Greg,
Don't blue
Come
balls.
on.
Give us the
Come on.
abbreviated version.
Come on.
No, I'm not. It's
Come
too
on.
much.
Come on. Come on.
Stay strong.
Greg, I'll turn this podcast right around and we'll go right back to the beginning.
Oh, stop it.
No, Nathan, it's worth your while to go look at it on YouTube, but he's outrageous. It's
You should do
outrageous. No, go look at it on YouTube. He's outrageous.
Nathan,
That's
you
all
should
I'm
get
gonna
back on
say.
Twitter. That's outrageous.
Don't go onto
seriously?
Don't go
Come
onto
on.
his channel. Don't go onto his channel though. Please.
No, I
Go
saw
onto
Dave the Film Junkie. Dave the Film
there you
Junkie
go.
had a little thing.
He do. It's really good. Look at that.
Okay. I'll check that out.
Nathan, where can they find you at, buddy?
Well, as I just said, I've kind of been off Twitter for like a week, but you can hear me at this show here, of course, but on every other week I host Star Wars Alliance with Katie, and this coming up week is there's going to be, we've got a pretty cool guest actually. Just you're gonna want to hear because this, like I said, it's a pretty damn cool guest, and we get into the kind of the behind the scenes of like books and stories and just kind of how things get going. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. That's kind of just listen to it. It's gonna be a really good episode. We got a good guest, and I would encourage anybody to go and check it out.
Dude, I am not that cool. I'm not that cool.
This
Don't talk me up
Thursday.
like that. All right.
Huh?
I said I am not that cool. Don't talk me up like that. Seriously. We know this, Greg, right? Sarah, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at MyLadyKitten. Sometimes I pop up on other podcasts as well. I did do a Bill and Ted episode with Lisa at I Love That.
You're cheating on us.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome.
See how it is.
You know
Sarah?
how much I love
Sarah?
Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
Sarah, that was awesome, Sarah.
If she's
Did
gonna
you
cheat,
enjoy
at least
it?
it's
I'm
Lisa.
glad you did
Yeah.
because I
It was
love
very good.
Bill and Ted. I'm so excited. I'm hoping to talk to her about Bogus Journey as well. And then, of course, when the third one comes out, so I'm like really super excited about that one. But yes, and I'm really excited the fact that I'm part of this podcast as well. So feel love, I appreciate it. Thank you much, fellas. But other than, and then you can also find me in the chat room with the C3 Panthers podcast. I know Tony always talks about that he doesn't get much love for that particular channel, but love it. If you're a Panther fan, or if you even like to talk football, period, or anything else in general, feel free to check it out on Tuesdays. And
Travis will jump in there and say Jordan's the king,
yes,
and
we
then
will
he'll
get
bounce
the goat
out.
as well. So
They said that's what it is.
That's how I know he's there. Yep.
I kind of feel bad because Travis will jump in there and put MJ as the goat, and I'm like, Travis is the goat, and then he like pops out.
Bastard.
No, you're right though, Sarah. Like last Tuesday, we started the show off, and I started going on a tangent about movies, and that was the day like the AMC news had just broke like 20 minutes before that, so I broke that news, at least for me, on that podcast, and we went on for like 25 minutes on a Panthers podcast talking about movies and stuff like that, streaming services and stuff like that.
Before we go, can we put a little stinger on there? Can we talk about the interactive Batman and Death in the Family movie that's going to be coming out?
Choose Your Own Adventure.
I didn't know anything about it. Tell me about it.
And you don't have to pay You don't have to pay $5.99 to kill Robin.
How much do you have to pay
I
for
love
that?
that Bruce Greenwood is coming back as the voice because he is my second favorite Batman voice. Like, man, it's gonna be really interesting because just from the little trailer and stuff of is it gonna go like if you choose to beat Robin to death with the crowbar, does it go straight into Under the Red Hood? You know what I
would
mean?
imagine, Nathan.
I
think
You know what I mean?
He's got to go in
like
Lazarus
that, and then if you don't, it looks
yeah.
like you go like a Jason Todd Hush kind of version. And then like I'm curious with the other version. Like I'm so fascinated by this kind of choose your own adventure. But like I was real curious about that. Is it like 10 minutes of footage like building up, and then like if you kill Robin, you go bam straight into Under the Red Hood. Which is fine with me because that's one of the best animated movies. That's one of the best Batman movies ever, to be honest with you. And then but like, I'm curious how the other ones will go. Like how long is this going to be? How much of a setup is it going to be? And like what is this going to be like? Like I've never seen an interactive movie.
You have to try it out. You have to try it out and find out.
Super curious about that.
Wait till October.
Yeah.
It will be.
You know what? That's old technology. The movie Big, he came up with that idea with a comic book that you could choose the ending, and it would change every time. So that's an old idea. We're digging up old stuff here. Come on, y'all. 80s technology.
Still waiting for my hoverboard from Back to the Future, Greg.
And
me
shoes that
too. My
lace
flying
themselves up.
DeLorean and
Yeah,
shit.
I hear you. Shoes that lace themselves up. Yeah, I'm ready for that too. It's not gonna happen.
I'm waiting for my car that runs on flubber. Yeah.
Just like I saw the Mr. Garbage, or it's like whatever it was, like with the final where you just put garbage in the back of it and it just does whatever.
The New 4K release on Amazon of Back to the Future actually comes with your own mini hoverboard. Legit hovers.
Nice.
Nice. I'm
you
waiting
on
for
it?
my proton pack. I'm waiting
waiting
for my proton pack and my trap and my Ecto one.
Different franchises now. Come on now.
Okay. Well, if we're talking about shit we're waiting on from the 80s, like,
Nathan,
come on,
Nathan,
I want that too.
Nathan, I'll sell you one, but you won't be able to see the stream. You just
Okay. I gotta charge it.
No, it's invisible.
There you
Okay.
go.
Mm-hmm.
This is the longest closing of the show we ever had right here, y'all. I think
Well,
setting records all the way across the board.
It's 1 a.m.
That's right. And you still got to play me in a game of 2K tonight, so goodness gracious, you're going to be tired. Check it out. You can find me at the BatDaddy52 on Twitter. It's my personal handle. Talk to me there. I'll try to interact with you, answer any questions I can for you. And then you can also find me with Travis on Tuesdays on DC Alliance Podcast, with Travis on Fridays on Superhero Discussions Podcast. Find me on Tuesdays on C3 Panthers Podcast, Fridays on SCS Podcast, which you're on right now. And then once a month, me and Mr. Snell do a Batman You Complete Me podcast, which the next episode will be coming out in 2 weeks, I think. So very, very soon. So check that out. And, man, other than that, you can't find me anywhere else.
Is Katie really not here because she's all like Lucifer and stuff? Wasn't that like her thing? Like she was like, "Oh, he's so hot, I gotta watch it as soon as it comes out." Is that why she's not here? Am I remember that correctly?
I don't think that's why she's here, but I haven't asked her.
I remember her joking and saying that, but now that she's not here, I'm thinking like, is she really not here because she's binging Lucifer?
A few weeks
because
too
I'll
early.
be dying laughing.
A few weeks too early.
Yeah, I think it's coming out in a couple weeks because I might miss the show because of that. No,
What's wrong, Nathan? I'm not yelling at you like Katie does. I mean,
I was just thinking about that.
She got enough of you this week. She can only handle so much.
That's right. This was the bye and the bi-weekly for Star Wars.
Which I'm hoping she and I are going to have a slice of film very soon. Nice. And it has to do a lot with you guys' new Batman, but he's not Batman.
The Sparkles. What's up?
Yes, yes. I told you guys. I thought because that's how I knew Pattinson. I knew him from Edward, but Edward into Bruce Wayne. I'm like, that's gonna take a bit.
Sharpie pins on the arms.
Sarah, were you Team Edward or Team Jacob?
Dude, I was so Team Edward. It wasn't even. I was all the way.
Oh God.
So I'm hoping that'll come to fruition soon. So that'll be super fun.
I'm sure it's going to be a great listen. I know it'll be on my list to download. So, all right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get out of here. It's late. Travis has to defend his 22-7 record against me tonight. So, but
he's got the Jordan code. That's why,
dude. He dominates me in the fourth quarter. It's a close game until the fourth quarter. I can't close it out.
That sounds hot. Dominating in the fourth quarter, Greg. What's up?
League, first 3, 4.
That's right. I give my fans hope, and then I quickly steal it away from them. So, all right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get out of here. It's been a great night. Thank y'all for coming on. And until next week, keep on it.
Yeah, Brent sucks. All right, so no. Bye, guys.
Yeah, he got one in. All right. And end stream.